All right, we doing it.
All right.
Hey, what
All
up,
right.
guys? It's your boy Aniki. We got East on deck. He has a special message that he would like to start the stream off with for Dustin. Go.
All right, Dustin. I don't know where you at, but I want to shout out a special message to you. You came at me on Twitter real quick, talk about some. The chapter wasn't all that. Don't be overhyping it. People are grown men. This hot gas nut spoilers is one thing, like how you call it the One Piece community for gas nut spoilers. Although don't be nothing, that's them. A whole chapter drop. That's your choice whether to read it or not. You want to wait for this or not. Therefore, everybody's responsible for making their own decisions and judgment on whether the chapter was heat, mediocre, or whatnot. There we go. So I can gas it, but everybody else can read it. So
All right.
there we go. That was best out of Dustin. I don't know where the hell he at.
No, Dustin gonna pull up eventually. You already know.
Eventually, yeah, but what's
He's most likely asleep.
He probably is. All right, I'm going straight to the chapter though, because I've been seeing a lot of hype, and I've been having to like nearly avoid multiple spoilers today. So I'm trying to get in this. 268. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Oh, Flo, I think you're.
All right, we got a flashback. The small time no move popped out from here. This path should be a shortcut. What's the holdup, Crust? Wow. Endeavor did have to hold up. This generation is giving us trouble. Don't worry. I'll erase it. Yo, Aizawa pulled up. See, and this is the thing that people have been talking about for a while now. Why can't Aizawa just pull up on these no move? We finally got Aizawa pulling up. Like,
what's interesting is that it doesn't work on the other ones. The more, I guess, the other no moves, like the basic ones, but it works on the high end. So I guess since the genetic makeup is different between the two.
Yeah. Under its skin, let's see. Yapamaya, under its skin, layers and layers of bone. Endeavor. After staring at the two in the front, it was a brief lag before I spotted the one in back. Hurry and finish that one off. The second this guy came into view, my body just knew. My rapid survival instincts told me that this dude is bad news. This thing, it can't be released into the world, no matter the cost. Shiggy's smiling. Stop that. Uh-oh. All right. The foot completion status, 74%. All right, so we're not getting even close to 100% Shiggy. Voice, shield, laser, physical enhancement, saber. So the one nullifying my quirks right now must be that one. I was disabled the moment he appeared, but what triggered it? He didn't touch me. He's hiding his eyes. Could it be his sight? It must be. But how do you do? Yo, it's weird. This is weird, yeah, like this is the most cohesive, like straight up. This was a monologue that wasn't like staggered, like with Hood Chain. This is okay.
But how do you shit like Endeavor?
Yeah, but how do you undo the effect? Is it on a time limit, or maybe much better? It's running. Even just its body alone is capable of insane speed. Wait, is it avoiding my gaze on purpose? Mind and body feels so very clear. Feels amazing. Did she just get mad fit?
Yes, sir.
It's a cast. It look like an ass, though, right? Like in the scan, it look like
no, it's her thighs or like her shins. Is that her knees?
It's like her calf muscle, I think.
It's like that. It look like the lower part of her like knee. Yeah.
Liquefaction plus rupture. What the fuck? She shot liquid herself bullets. God damn. All right, shield throwing up barriers. Let's see. Aizawa get hit. Endeavor's getting hit a little here. That no move's no longer dying. Coil's going for actually inside of Miracle's left leg. That's not good. Luna arc. Whoo boy. Completion at 75%. She didn't lose her right arm yet, but it is. Computer's exploding. Crap. She's getting pulled back. Endeavor catches her. Doctor screaming more. Mirko, finish him off. Shigaraki's in there. The old fart too. We can't let Shigaraki wake up. Okay, so she didn't get the deep hit. Woo. All right. It's wild. This is wild.
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
Especially because
listen. Next chapter.
You got the spoilers for that?
The Prison Mike season.
Because like here's the thing.
No, I just know like. Oh, you go.
Because we're finally at a point in the story where Aizawa and is like center stage as like a frontline fighter, and we haven't had this since like the attack on USJ.
Yeah. And you could maybe even argue a little bit of what's it called? The overhaul radar when he was helping the kids. But he didn't have his own little moment like that. But yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm kind of writing that as a death flag, but maybe I'm being
no, because I was just thinking that this is perfect for to like bring it full circle what happened at USJ with Aizawa putting his quirk on Shigaraki and Shigaraki catching up to him with speed and then holding his elbow. But if we assume he has enhancement, maybe he won't need his quirk anymore to finish the job, and he can just kill him that way.
Because if we looking at if Shigaraki, Miracle's instincts didn't turn shit about the normal, and she popped off, and then she was popping off on him like that. But when she pulled up on Shigaraki and her instincts told her, "Bitch, leave." Like, you gotta understand, like, it's not even just a quirk alone because I don't think he got that many more quirks. Like, as of now, I'm just pretty sure, like, just physical body alone, that nigga is gonna murk half of them.
we got Ian here. What's up, Ian?
Hi there. How are we doing?
Doing splendid.
Why are you so happy, Ian? I don't like that, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Huh?
Yeah, all this positive energy.
I have good days.
Yeah.
Hey. You're not gonna talk to Ian like that. That's first of all.
No, you gotta turn it down a little bit. I like a little bit of negativity. You can't too positive again.
Nah.
I mean, I didn't even think this was like an amazing chapter, but I like hanging out with you guys.
Hey, now
That's the power of friendship. You can't be hating on nah, man. You can't be hating on eating wholesome content.
Nah, look, we gonna get Rex. Listen, when Rex wear that clown costume, that's gonna be your Abby from now on.
Dude, okay, let me
don't you change that shit either.
If that happens, I will always have that as my Abby. I promise.
Oh, don't do that to
it's
yourself.
K-Five inside joke. No, he needs to because he been capping for this many years. Out of here, that nonsense.
But if I were to give my thoughts on the chapter, pretty okay chapter. I think there, like I said a lot on Twitter, I think it's
before you keep going, Aniki still hasn't finished it yet.
No, I did finish it. I finished.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were reading stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My bad. No, just because pretty okay chapter. I think what hurt it a little bit was its lack of like a POV centered person. Because at first I thought we were going to deal with the Mirko stuff, but then it seemed like, oh, Aizawa's here with how he came in, so maybe we're going to follow him. And then by the end of it, we kind of ended where we left off last week. So it kind of felt like, okay, we didn't really delve too much into anybody except for the high end, which I thought that was the best part of the chapter, which was seeing just how smart this thing has gotten within like maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. Because there's no way Mirko was fighting for like an hour in between when she killed the last one.
Yeah, no.
So because I've heard a lot of people be like, they don't really enjoy the fact that, or at first they didn't like the fact that Mirko was able to just fight 4 at the same time. But if you go back to that chapter, that takes place within the matter of like maybe 20 seconds. And now it's been like 5 minutes and she can't touch them anymore. That's that's supposed to power scale the Nomu. If our most agile, like top 10 pro hero can like barely survive 4, but can get 1, but then after like 5 minutes can't even touch him, that's bad for our characters.
And it's also to keep in mind that when they first came out of their pods, they were, I wouldn't say nerfed, but like they were still
they were nerfed.
But this is
warmed up.
They were nerfed.
Yeah, but this is to show just how like nerfed they basically weren't, because he was like, oh, it took Hood 5 hours to stabilize. It's been like 5 minutes, and they're like barely stabilizing, and the top 10 pro can't keep up with them. So these guys are dangerous. So now it makes me look back at the Mirko chapters, which at the time I was like, oh, I hope we're not doing this to the Nomu, and be like, oh dang, she like just like barely was able to scrape that one by.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's oh, who's going?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm done.
So the thing with that is that what it came down to is there's a certain level of information advantage that is always relevant in combat. And I was reading somebody's comment, sorry.
Okay. Like you're like, Ian, talk.
When the Nomu don't know how Mirko fights, so they have to adapt to that. But within the first like 20, 30 seconds of combat, that's kind of hard to do, especially at the speed she's moving. Plus, she's actually doing damage to them. So it's like they've got to avoid taking serious damage for a bit. Oh, yeah. So that first one getting taken out, it was like, all right, we don't know. Like, it's like they didn't realize she was that like balls to the walls, right?
No, it works great now, definitely.
Yeah, so it's like she took out the biggest issue for her, managed to get the priority while she was at her strongest during this fight.
And still lost an arm and took a bludgeon to the head and was bleeding from that.
Yeah. So it's like, she took out the biggest threat to her, and the one that I think that if you like look at the way he was using his quirk, as he would have, like gotten more into it, I definitely think that would have been the biggest issue for anybody else, especially like Crust would just die, like based on what we're seeing.
Yeah, all I'm saying is in typical My Hero fashion, everything pretty much gets better with hindsight once you have the full context. It's pretty much how it goes. So
that's what I was exactly about to say. Like, it's always hindsight. That's why I always laugh whenever somebody complain about something and say something. It's always just hindsight. Like, just when I wasn't impressed about Anomu, I was like, hindsight. I mean, he giving y'all like literal explanation. So in the first place, it should have been like, he literally stated, it took Hood this long to stabilize. These ones are first. They are not ready. So that people like, yo, then now they start power scaling Miracle versus Endeavor. It's like, that's not what we should really be power scaling right now. We should really be like, that's not the issue. The matter of the fact right now is that these niggas are not as strong as Hood. If you just literally read what the hell it said, but now more so, you really start to get into it. I don't know why it takes people so long to realize simple shit that's really given to you in each chapter. But as far as this chapter concerned, what I can bounce off is, in hindsight, Ian. No, I'm not attacking you, of course.
Oh no, I know.
In hindsight,
Ian.
This chapter lacking focus is actually better because now all he did was he's like, okay, I made all my moves with Dabi and all of them before, right? So now it's like, he took all the cards off the table, stacking up. With one chapter, he stacked everything else up again. So now you have a legitimate reason why Miracle and Endeavor are not in the fight, or a legitimate reason why Aizawa and Mike actually get to attack the Doctor and get their confirmation and get their moments real quick, just like everybody else got their moments a couple of chapters ago. And now you have Crust and them fighting the other high-end nobles. So now it's like, okay, he structured everything out in one chapter. Now next chapter, his main focus is President Mike and Aizawa. Before Shiki Rocky wakes up and they all get away. Because who knows when it'll be a relevant opportunity to attack the motherfucker that just turned your best friend body into a fucking gnome.
Oh yeah, no, very fair points all around.
I think that
I mean,
what?
No,
I think
you're good.
I think the non-cohesiveness of the chapters are just going to get more and more non-cohesive, just mainly because in any time that there's a war and there's multiple key players, and I think that in total we have, how many League of Villains do we still have alive?
We still have Compressed, Spinner, Dabi, Toga, and Shiggy.
Okay, and then we have the generals from the Paranormal Liberation Front. And then
we don't have the generals from the support regiment anymore, I believe.
Okay, and then we also have Giganto, Redestro, and then we have the top 10 pro hero. Like, what I'm getting at is that because we have so many key players, we're probably not going to get a lot of straightforward, cohesive chapters going forward, and it's going to be all over the place. And that's just the way that I think a war is going to be situated, unless Horikoshi decides to focus solely on a group like a select few people like he did with the Dobby Hawks and Twice thing. But I hope he doesn't do that, and I hope we actually do go like this panel here, like the full page of this, then a full page of this, then a full page of that, and then like as the war like gets to its climax, then we start focusing on the individuals longer for a chapter or two.
So here's the thing, though, right? Is that I would actually say that in the course of rereading this chapter, as we've been discussing about whether or not it's cohesive, I actually think it's a cohesive chapter.
Okay.
I do too, but I just think it's going to get more like less cohesive as time goes on.
The main
mute.
Yo, Flory, you gotta mute your mic, bro. You gotta mute your mic, bro. We do this every stream, man. Every stream.
I'm not even making that much noise. That's the thing.
Oh, I think they mean that Flo hasn't said a damn thing. Just like he hasn't given anything.
Yeah.
He's in the background. That's amazing. Let's back him something. Oh, never mind. He just okay. They want to just think Flo, but okay.
Wait, can y'all hear East, or does he sound like a robot, yo?
He roboted it, but then it said okay as soon as like Flo went muted. So East, real quick, say something.
Can y'all hear me better now?
It's like in this in-between phase of like robot and normals, but I think you're good for now.
Yeah, but anyway.
Now you're good.
So one of the things though that it's important to note is that like when the chapter starts off, we get the flashback of like what's the holdup. But what this does is it explains how the upper floor hospital team, Aizawa, Endeavor, and President might get down through here. So like if you think about it, it starts off, you get Crust over here not really making any moves.
You gotta stop it, man. You gotta stop it. You gotta stop it, please, man. You gotta stop it.
Wait, what did he say?
He talking about Crust again, man. You gotta stop. You gotta stop this slander on my boy Crust.
Listen. Y'all not gonna do is quirk matchup. Crust had that fat ass normal that started lobbing his body every 2 fucking feet.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like,
let's see what Endeavor would have did if that nigga was stuck in the door and that normal still had his quirk going.
Yeah, I was like, it's a big Moy and all the regeneration going on. I was like, it's hard to cut through
that. Real quick, you guys talked about last week whether you thought who would win in a fight between Best Jeanist and Endeavor, right? That was brought up.
Oh yeah, that did come up.
Yeah, so I actually did have something to say, just real quick. I think it's very easy to tell who would win. You just got to look at like just 2 very objective facts: who is in his bag and who is in a bag.
There we go.
That's all I wanted to say.
Well, the main person that was defending Best Genius doesn't think he's in that bag, so.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that shit coming. Man.
Why is Ian here with heat? It's Easter, Ian. The Lord refused. Why did you do this?
Damn, I didn't see that shit coming, man.
All right. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to say for this stream. So anything else is just extra. Like, because I was listening back to the podcast at work. I was like, man, that would have been a good one-liner. So I'm glad it still stood.
Yeah, that's funny.
But no, like the main point though really is that what this does is set up everything that gets set up. The chapter is directly related to Aizawa and President Mike's journey to get to the back room.
Yes, please. I need Aizawa.
Because like even Endeavor getting ahead of them and going after that one to take out that number that was trying to stop Miracle is all to set up the fact that those 2 eventually get blown away so that it's Aizawa and Yamada in the room. And so even the analysis of Woman, because that was Aizawa's target, who he was trying to specifically shut down and enable them to finish off so that he could get to the back room. It's all about things that are directly pertinent to getting Aizawa and Eraser Mike, but specifically centered around Aizawa to that room. So we're just switching gears on who's like the main focus here. And for once, it's Aizawa in the main story, which I'm here for.
Yeah. Actually, you got her, Rex.
Can we just say how amazing Crust quirk is? Because when I thought, no, for real, I'm like, because I'm looking at it, and I only thought that his shield would just be on his body. The fact that he can extend it out like that and protect everybody, I didn't even think that was an application of his quirk.
It is. It's bro. I'm trying to tell you. Listen, Crux still has a chance to flex his muscles. He was in a bad quirk matchup real quick. If it was like a open floor, it would have been a different story.
I wasn't doing shit on him. I was defending him all last week. I was going hard for him.
Yeah, Rex was on for that.
I just didn't think that he can expand it the way he did. Like, that's really nice.
Actually, I'm about to let me lay this down real quick. I'm about to turn this stream. I'm about to turn this average power scale in MHA on his head, and we about to get some real discussions going, some real go shit. Y'all ready for this? Instead of comparing top. Okay, let's start off like this. I'm gonna break this down thread style, Archbishop style. In the world of MHA, we know that experience, skill, time, age, and all that accumulates into your status, right?
Right.
So that the older you are, the more even if like Shoto and Bago and them still can't, and Deku and them still can't compare to the big three. And Mirio with his quirk, they're still the big three. Even though Nejire hasn't had her full showcase at the current level, they still couldn't beat them. Correct.
Yeah,
But still the big three. Okay, now let's level that up again. They still couldn't beat the top. Of course, they couldn't beat top 10 or some more pro heroes. So now let's break this back down. Instead of comparing the top 10 to other characters, to other top 10s, let's break this down into how the top 10 fare against some of the villains that they faced, some of the heroes they faced. How will other top 10 contenders, like how Miracle faced against Overhaul, in-game Overhaul, like let's do that instead of just the top 10.
Miracle versus Overhaul.
Overhaul beats Miracle.
No.
In-game Overhaul, like when he leveled all the way up to like a fucking monster.
Honestly, his speed isn't that good, and I actually see her being able to blitz him.
Yeah, you just blitz his head off if we're going for the kill.
Okay,
now if we're going for capture,
so is Miracle speed faster than 20% Deku's?
Oh, definitely.
But how much more do you think?
At least up to 60%, she got him beat.
Yeah, like.
Okay, so the only thing I would say is that when Mirio popped up behind Overhaul and to save Eri when she was still in the arms of that dude, Overhaul was able to dodge that somewhat. So I think that we are he may not be super fast, but his reaction speed is still nice.
Overhaul has good technique. My thing is, especially in that big form though, like the Kaiju form is actually like I think his forearm form would do a better job against Mirko than his.
Oh, I would agree.
Yeah,
I actually think his regular form would suffice.
I don't think that.
No, I think the only I think that the only reason he was struggling against Night Eye is because he was so tired from Mirio, and I think that
he regained all of his health and stamina. They said that.
Yeah, because Overhaul's one of the only people whose quirk technically doesn't have a limit because he can reset his body every time he gets close to breaking.
Yeah, he was at full health when he fought Night Eye, and he was faster.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, Night Eye was using his 1 second glance attacks, but Overhaul still got him. So.
And I'm also going to say that I actually think Night Eye beats base Overhaul.
Oh yeah, easily. If Mirio can do it,
like
or if Mirio can keep up. Mirio can keep up as he did.
I think that Night Eye limited himself because he was only doing a 1 second. If he actually just looked ahead, he probably could have. Well, I don't know because he still always had to think of. The future is like set in stone, so I don't know how that would work out. Even if he saw everything,
I mean, he would believe whatever he saw, and then he would just kind of go with it because that's how he contradicts his own quirk.
Also, yeah, I stand by Mirko being too fast for Overhaul.
Agreed.
No, I think Overhaul wins.
Also.
Okay, so let's make
Are you telling me you scale quirkless Mirio over Mirko?
No, of course not.
Because quirkless Mirio was enough to beat base Overhaul.
Okay.
Let's get this a little bit more interesting.
I'm just saying that I think that Overhaul could beat Miracle. I think that Muriel in himself in the situation that was going on limited Overhaul. I think that if Overhaul just went all out in let's say it was an open city battle, I think Overhaul beats Miracle. If he can let's say he's in the middle of the street, and then he has all these lampposts and everything around him, and he's deconstructing and reconstructing all of this stuff. I think that he can, and then also like one touch is it for Miracle. So no trade of blows where she hits him, then he slightly hits her or something. That can't happen. You literally cannot get touched at all.
But have you ever read or watched Sonic the Hedgehog or played the Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah,
that Bad Bunny bitch will hop and speed blitz around anything this nigga doing. It's in the city too. Trigger, please. She fucking bouncing and hopping around mid-air.
I think Miracle in an open city is a lot weaker than she is in a closed area like this right now.
No, I think she's got the speed to, especially when you see the way she was bouncing versus these high ends.
But I'm saying this is a closed area, so she can repair. It's kind of like the gentle effect where he's bouncing off.
She can jump on buildings too, because you got to think she literally jumped off of a skyscraper when she pulled up on Dobby.
No. What I'm saying is the bouncing effect where she goes super fast, repeatedly bouncing off something in close distance. She can't do that in an open space.
She can't. Okay, how's Overhaul attacking her then? Because what long projectiles does he have?
Plenty.
Okay, exactly. So any projectile he throwing at her, she's bouncing off like she fucking Sonic the Hedgehog.
You telling
me
she can't run on the spikes like Deku did? You finna tell me Mirko can't?
Yo, if Overhaul is smart enough, he'll literally just you've all seen Naruto, right?
But he's not smart.
What? He doesn't have that.
Overhaul is way overhyped in terms of his fighting capabilities. Overhaul is a freak boy, and if you touch him, he will go into freak boy mode and loses tactical fighting. When he first met Shigaraki, he got touched once and almost murdered, if not for his friends helping him. He almost got one shot by Shigaraki just because someone touched him.
Okay.
That did happen.
Watch my video on Kirby Sonic. Watch my video on Kirby Sonic Team for full breakdown of
Overhaul's character. Miracle.
No.
No. So I think she's strong, but I think that you guys saw that nice brown ass and thighs, and you guys have just going way out of proportion.
Mirko's a C-tier character. Overhaul's an S-tier.
First off, I'm not going to have you criticizing and trying to hold people's taste against them with a LaBrava Avi. That's not.
But I don't say LaBrava. I don't say LaBrava would be one of the best villains that we've had in terms of technique and everything in the series. No, I just love her character.
She is a great character. By the way, there is one weakness to Overhaul, but it was removed from the anime. Which is basically that his power has no spread function. So basically, there's a part where Overhaul breaks the ground where Mirio's at, and Mirio uses his cape to spread out the debris so that Overhaul can't use that anymore. And then when Deku's fighting Overhaul, he breaks the ground constantly because if he touches the ground, he can't spread it to touch the broken pieces. So that's another thing Mirko could easily do is just break the ground, and then all he has is single-use projectiles.
Bro, listen, let me tell you something, Rex. If I'm Miracle and I could blast down double steel doors in a heartbeat, lickety split, no problem, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take any car I see, anything like that, I'm gonna kick that shit at your ass. And while you reacting to that car flying at your head top speed, I'm gonna run behind you because you're gonna have no time to react, and I'm gonna kick your damn head off.
Or you know what would be really amazing? If we did this battle in a city with a lot of people. And as Miracle is trying to attack Overhaul, he is disassembling and reassembling people into his body and using their quirks on the fly and just keep going. And it's just a back and forth. There's so many possibilities that this fight could go. You guys are not looking at everything. No, but I'm just saying
you have to nerf Mirko by giving people that she'd have to protect.
She's a hero. Okay, so you're understanding a one-on-one death battle.
I thought that's what you were saying. If you want to change it, that's fine. I don't care.
Where Dustin at? He trying to play coy because Dustin ain't here because Dustin called his ass out because Rex no good.
Just want you to know, Rex, I am a hypocrite because I hate power scaling MHA characters. So I'm just kind of doing this for devil's advocate's sake.
Yeah, I think Overhaul would win, bro.
I did villains for a reason because it's easier than top 10s. A lot more.
Well, yeah, because we have an actual
yes,
like, and I think Muscular beats most top 10 heroes.
Muscular's scary.
Say what?
Yeah, I think Muscular beats a lot of the top 10 heroes.
Hold up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gentle versus Crust?
Gentle versus
That'd be funny.
That'd be funny.
What? Huh? Crust wins?
I don't know. I might swing the Gentle on this one.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my god, there's no way you guys are picking Gentle over Crust.
Just gently rebound.
Bro, Gentle over Crust.
Yeah, gently rebound off a cliff.
Hey, what y'all gonna do if Gentle pull up on Crust and then like he just like smack one of his Crust shields and Crust get knocked out?
Because
like Crust tried to use it and then bounce back and smack a nigga.
That's my thing though, is that like he can make Crush shields flexible so that they're worthless. He could.
Do you think that Gentle is physically stronger than Crust?
No.
Shit.
Crust built like a fucking Spartan, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like Gentle is cool. Yes, his quirk is amazing. Yeah, but Gentle doesn't have the application nor the time and experience to be a top 10 hero. Let's stop this right now. You hate Crust so much, you're going to use Gentle.
You just touch the air, and then what does he do?
Oh my
God. And Gentle, he gonna drop kick Crust in his nutsack, bro.
The Bravo and Gentle couldn't beat a 20% Deku. Well, not even 28%. They use 20% occasionally.
That's only because Gentle wasn't using his full power. You see, if he were to fight Crust, he would reach inside himself and get a Shonen power up.
Yeah,
I'm just being.
Hey, you know the funniest? Yeah, somebody said something on I think it was Twitter. Shout out to one of the boys from the high that said this on Twitter. I think it was a shout out to Petri, my boy Petri. He said, "What if Shiggy pulls up back on a mansion and then he has his Shonen MC mode and he was like, sorry, I'm late to the party." You know how like the MC come in all late?
That's definitely gonna happen.
He's gonna be like, sorry, he's gonna be like the future king has arrived, just like he said.
No, he's gonna say, I am here. Oh my god, he's saying, I am here.
Listen. I think one of the things I'm be scared about, like if Hori were to subvert how Shiggy wakes up and just not show him waking up the first time around, but we cut back again. But the first time he wake up is like Makia already looking at his radio and he was like, "Hey, ape." I'll be like, imagine a cliffhanger like that, like the next two chapters, like he just like, "Hey, you big fucking monkey," you know, because he don't call Makia by his name. He be calling him big gorilla and ape and fucking monkey. Like imagine like that was the cliffhanger like one of these weeks. Like, "Hey, monkey." I'll be like, oh.
Okay, so one thing we was talking about was that, you know, that you guys obviously think that Dobby is going to kill Endeavor. How does that happen? Like, I know we've had this conversation before, but the more it's going on, it looks very unlikely like the two intermingle.
It's looking more and more like we're moving away from that. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's just that he just has to ruin Endeavor's like come up career where he's like repairing his relationship with his son, becoming a new symbol that people can look up to. That's all Dobby really has to destroy. If he's his son.
He said, if it's his son. Yeah, he stands with
here.
I hate this nigga Dustin. He just woke up.
Nigga, I was watching Dorohedoro and Haikyuu. Nigga, I just finished that shit. I was like, then I checked Twitter. I'm like, oh shit.
Dorohedoro hit.
Yeah, that shit hard. I'm gonna read the manga later on today.
Same here, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, let me get Dustin for all my connection going. Dustin, on Twitter, you called me out.
Yeah, you was capping, bro. You capping.
Hey, we gonna have this discussion now. I want to say, first of all, I'm not gassing like you called a One Piece, and I'm not gassing up spoilers. It is a chapter everybody can read. Everybody can make their own decisions. It's not like I seen the spoilers. Not everybody read the spoilers.
No. I'm talking about when the chapter was out. You said you was saying it was fire. I was like, you capping. It was not fire, bro.
Right, it was fire. How you won't cap like that, man?
How you gonna tell someone that they don't think something's fire?
Because he always no. You know I can say that because every week he says the My Hero chapter is gas, no matter what. He says that every week.
But it has been gas.
So
Yeah,
you know
that's
that.
true.
So you
No,
know
no, no, that's true. That's true. But he always says it. So it's like when I've never see him not say it.
That's because you.
Exactly.
When did you follow?
But you
start
can.
following
Yeah, when did you start following
Yeah,
him,
but-
though?
I have no idea.
NBA?
But it's in the last
NBA or
year.
later?
It's been in the last year.
It was probably no. It was like NBA
Because
or
I've been
later.
going. I've been on since NBA, like sweetness. But this is the thing. You could tell, even when I say a chapter is fire, you could tell between the tears. I say, oh, this chapter was lit. Hori the fucking goat. Or I'll be like, yo,
Bro, what kind of tears are that though? What kind of tears are that?
It's still all good.
What kind of tears are that, bro?
You gotta
I
read
can't
between
openly-
the context and the
I
line.
can't speak overly on the chapter Friday because half the motherfuckers be waiting for vids and shit. And I was like, and everybody talk about it on Sunday anyway. So I was like, I might not as well.
Bro, this chapter was basically
Well,
the
everything.
same chapter as last week. That's why it was
Nah,
average to
I'm
me.
not
Yes,
gonna-
what you mean,
I'm not gonna
nah?
repeat that all.
What
I'm
do
not
you
gonna repeat
mean?
that all.
You
I'm not gonna
was
repeat that
you
all.
was trying to squirm from that this Friday, but you didn't want to go into it. So I'm gonna wait till Sunday when the vids come out.
Yeah,
I knew, bro.
We're gonna get into it now. We're gonna get into it now.
We basically left off on the same cliffhanger with just different characters.
You mean with Hawks pulling up? No, because Hawks was pulling up to save, and they're pulling up to win.
Hawks,
Different.
what is Hawks doing? No,
Wait,
last
sorry.
cha-
Yanni was pulling up to save.
no,
And
that was
they're
not that. The last chapter ended with Miracle about to open up the thing, and this chapter ended with them saying with Shigaraki about to like come out again, like, oh, we gotta stop Shigaraki. Nothing happened in this chapter, really, bro. Nothing happened. It was more build up. It was more build up to Shigaraki coming.
I expect better for you. Look.
More happened to Miracle last chapter than this chapter.
But that's the cap. There was substance.
Miracle got stabbed through the leg last chapter, lost part of her ear, got stabbed through some other part of her body. More happened to her last chapter than this chapter.
She got it through and through on her left thigh.
More happened to her last chapter than this chapter.
Her left and her right arm.
Bro, nothing really happened this chapter, bro. Y'all can't. What happened? What happened this chapter?
Well, we got Eraser, and obviously I was all about to go and fight the doctor. We got a Nomu with actual like. I think. Do we ever get inner dialogue for Hood? I can't remember.
Outside of I want to fight, he's strong. No.
No, but he was stringing thoughts together. She was just doing it more
But this is what I'm saying. We
fluently.
finally got the inner thoughts of the high end, and how smart. And it just also shows that we always knew that the Nomus were kind of nerfed when America first.
Your mic is trash, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the point. Are you trying to make the point that I made earlier about like the power scaling of Mirko and the Nomu?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to explain that real quick because your mic's a bit like echoey?
Oh, give me a second. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
said your shit trash.
So no,
You can't talk.
he has a good mic now.
He has a good mic today. I ain't gonna lie. You got a good mic, but you can't. Don't start talking shit as soon as you get a good mic. You got to be humble. You got to be humble.
No, but
No.
I came in here agreeing. I'm more on your side, Dustin. That it was just no okay chapter, but the part that I did say was of quite a bit of value. Is I do really appreciate how, because I was really nervous at first when we first got Mirko fighting the high ends, because she immediately was able to kind of take one out within a chapter. It's like, oh no, I hope we're not nerfing these guys. But when you actually go back to that chapter, that happens within the span of maybe 10, 15 seconds, of actual her fighting the four, and she loses an arm and gets hit in the head. So what I really enjoy about this chapter and the chapters we've been getting is it's probably only been about like 30 minutes at most, and this Nomu is at this level. So that means that we are using Mirko, who's this top 10 character in their verse or in their JP, to power scale how quickly these Nomu are progressing and getting stronger, which I think is valuable for future, because that means we can't just have Todoroki or Bakugo come up and do a howitzer impact and take them out. So I do think that's pretty valuable that this Nomu's been around for maybe 30 minutes and it's having straight conversations with itself, or straight internal monologues with itself, figuring out the way characters can react. And whereas Hood took 5 hours to stabilize, this one is still stabilizing and it's this strong and smart. So I do think that's a value.
Yeah, this one
But everything else
considerably better quirk usage than Hood, in my opinion.
Yes, but everything else I agree with you. I think it was just a pretty okay chapter because we didn't necessarily have a POV to follow. We kind of switched between Aizawa, Endeavor, and Mirko, and So that kind of made it feel a little like chaotic for me.
It's not even that. It's just like nothing was happening. It was just more buildup and tension for Shigaraki getting out of. It's like it reminded me of them 2 chapters we had. Remember when the chapter ended with Mirako chasing the doctor? Oh no, Endeavor showing up, and the doctor was all like, "Ah!" And then the next chapter, Mirako showed up, and it ended with the doctor going, "Ah!" I was like, "Bro, it's the same chapter from last week." And when manga do that, when they give me like basically the same chapter, Kingdom done it recently, One Piece does it a lot. When you give me the same chapter for last week, even if the last few chapter was really good, I'm marking it by half because it's like, okay, you're trying to build up this tension a little bit more to get to where you want to get to, and then the fact that we have a break too, and I gotta wait more.
Hey, come on, we didn't plan for the break though. Like you got to remember, like originally.
Hey.
And Anakin, you was wrong for killing Crush last week too. I don't know if y'all talking about that.
We did already.
Yeah, we got.
No, okay. I didn't know if y'all got on him or not because he was killing Crush last week.
Yeah,
I was like, hold on, Crush could be right behind him. I was like, Crush could be right there.
Yeah, but I was right. Crush only got through because the other team came in and clutched it for him.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I can't kill a giant monster." Whatever.
No, wait a minute. That's a no move, man. That's a high end. That's a high end no move. Y'all bugging.
No,
I know
that's a high
that's
generation.
being a jerk.
Y'all bugging.
Yo.
But we also agree that we also all unanimously came to the decision that Gentle could beat Crust. So you weren't here for that.
Y'all bugging.
We did it. Dustin, we did it.
Okay. I mean, Rex. I wouldn't doubt Rex saying something like that, but
come on, yo, that's crazy.
you know,
Rex is the only one. Rex the only one defending Gentle in this thing.
There's no way Gentle could beat Gentle. Crust can't beat Deku. Can't beat Crust. So what are you talking about?
No, Crust getting
What?
lost.
What's up
What's
with all this Crust hate? He's a top 10 pro hero, bro. Like,
He's the worst part of the pizza.
Deku can't beat Fat Gum, so he definitely can't beat Crust. What are you talking about?
Bro,
now you think about it, Deku get bodied by Fat Gum. Low key, goddamn.
I came in here.
Everybody in Class 1A ain't beating the top 20 heroes. No one in the top 20 heroes they're not beating.
I came in to give my one-liner. Now I'm just trolling, and it's been fun.
Yeah.
also, I put Redestro beating Endeavor. What y'all think?
Nah.
Ooh, that's a hard
because
I think
if he uses spider web, if he uses flame spider web, and those can open up his stress balls, then Endeavor got it. That's
fair. Hell Spider is very strong,
and then plus Endeavor can still fly through and maneuver through his stress balls, unless they like.
Yeah.
My issue is like we always talk about. We never actually saw a full power burden because Shigaraki was technically destroying them.
Mm-hmm.
And Endeavor didn't seem to have an answer for AFO's giant cannon, and that's basically what Burden was equal to without being a complete attack. So I have a hard time seeing, like, it kind of comes down to if he's willing to use Hell Spider on him early or if Redestro pops off.
Really, the only thing that it comes down to is Endeavor willing to kill. Because he's not capturing Redestro.
Listen. We gotta exclude all that.
No. I'm not excluding the hero morality thing. So what are we excluding?
Mm-hmm.
Like we get it. Like when we do these people versus people, we need to exclude them being heroes. It's just how they use their quirks, their strength, is like, or that morality thing that adds a whole nother layer. It's like we can use it when it's actually in the story, but if we're just matching people up, we need to exclude the whole morality shit because then it gets all murky. And then, like, if you didn't do this quick enough, then that this is just straight up 1v1 to the death.
Yeah, when you power scale with my hero, it's impossible to do it for like applying it to the actual story because characters rely on the thematic part of their story. So, like, Stickman All Might can be in his like buff form, give his all, and punch All for One in the face. But because he puts his back into it, he can be in Stickman form, put it all into one punch, and take out All for One. That's because we're following the themes of the story of heroes rising to the occasion to win despite their limits, despite the cost of what it takes. But if you can't really apply the power scaling of just like here's their stats to the story. So it's mostly just for fun. And in those scenarios, I always take out like people or casualties or their mindset. It's just like, would they win? At least that's how I do it.
if we're doing that, then Endeavor wins in extreme death, and I think Endeavor is mortally like really badly wounded.
Yeah, no, like my vote is like 51-49 either way now.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't think that it's an easy fight for either one of them. I think that whoever wins the fight is like really gravely injured.
Especially because like I think Claustro is actually.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that come back.
Yeah, I think that and we haven't seen what that actually is like. I think Shigaraki was just so OP in the sense that, like, like, and honestly,
he just has to touch it.
Yeah, really, and Endeavor's strength. I think Endeavor pretty much beats everybody in the series we've seen up so far besides Giganto.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, not Almighty All for One, obviously, but like everyone that's currently active.
Yeah, like
so everybody else then, except for those three characters,
and except for the high ends.
Potentially.
I think that Endeavor was limited. I think that now that he's fought Hood, he would be able to dispatch a high end a little bit easier. I think that he would. I think
Hood was shown to be the weakest of the high ends, and these high ends that we're facing now, they've already been said before they even started fighting that they're not at their full capacity, and we've already seen how strong, how overpowering they were, and then as they're getting stronger, the more active they are. So we haven't seen them at their full capacity, and they're already better than the last one.
What Rex, moreover, is saying though is that Endeavor took a lot of damage trying to fight for capture.
Yes.
Whereas now we know that now he knows, it's not going that way. So now he might pull up on one and just be like, hell spider, and slice it up like he did the building. And then
Prominence burn and like, yo, I'm out.
but then we can't.
Nah, I still, because the high ends have too many variables to them and they're stronger.
Oh yeah, no, like there's a lot of
I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy, but what I'm saying is
the high. I give it advantage to the high ends because he struggles so much against even whatever. Like even if it wasn't just for capture, that still wasn't gonna be like easy for him to do.
Actually, there was a lot to go in. Like he was in the building, he had to think of. Luckily he had Hawks there, but because if he was alone, he would have had to prioritize and rescuing all the people within the building. Besides, like it's just so many variables, and then he had to go up. Like if we are in an open area where they can just fight, Endeavor can go all out because he had to use Hawks to get up so he wouldn't hurt the buildings or the people in the city. Like there's a lot of variables going into that fight that I think weaken Endeavor.
At the same time, that also applies straight to the Hoods because remember when Endeavor knocked the first bone normal out? He was like, there's dozens of layers of bones onto this motherfucker's like in his entirety in his skull, and I know that was just natural because the other one that high didn't see Endeavor coming, so he didn't put a bunch of bones in the back of his head. They're just naturally built with a bunch of bones, thick as shit skulls. I'm pretty sure he started advancing them more and more because like. If I'm Ujiko and I see my first Hood trying to get take out, and these ones are even better than the last, of course I'm gonna start upping their durability and their capabilities. And it's like a different quirk matchup because this Liquid Barrage Endeavor was getting hit, everybody was taking damage from the shit. So it's like
y'all misremembering that fight, bro. The Nomu washed Endeavor at the very beginning first. Then they kept fighting, and he beat Endeavor to the point where Endeavor couldn't physically move his body. He had to make his flames move his body, and then had Hawks help him move him up high into the sky so he could just release all his flames. And that was against the weakest, the one that was imperfect.
Yeah, and that's that heroism power scaling where he's like, all right, Prominence burn didn't work before, Prominence burn more, and then he kills it.
So here's the thing, though. Prominence burn would have worked if it had hit his head. You got to think the body was completely gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was regenning with a fist and mouth. Is the part I'm talking about?
Yeah, like that part.
That's crazy.
But like the thing with that fight though is that Endeavor, if he would have been like, first off, it took a while before Hood even like healed from the first attack.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not like Flashfire Fist was ineffective. It was just that he hit him with that. And then literally said, I'm going to try to prioritize capture. And then that's what started like getting him fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
If he would have just been like, It just burns right there. Like,
If you just pooped on him, we'd have it.
Yeah, he just took his ass out of shit.
Nah, y'all underestimating the Nomu, bro.
No, we're not.
I ain't
I'm not,
letting it
no,
play
I'm
with.
not saying that. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy.
He had
fight.
that much.
And-
He had that much trouble with the imperfect one. He's not like that's like the imperfect one. Whether you say he's prioritizing capture or not, the imperfect one is able to go toe to toe with the strongest hero. Period. Whether you try to say it was elements, whatever, he's still it's pure power wise. He's able to go toe to toe with the top hero, and he's imperfect.
No, well, Dustin, we're not saying that like Endeavor just wash and be like. I think that's one thing we're just saying he's overall going to win.
No, he's not, bro. I don't think.
Even on that front though, because if he went up against woman, that's a whole different matchup. Because Hood, like they said, was obsessed with fighting, and you seen the way he operated. He was just like he was analyzing stuff like that, but he was like, I see how he works here. Let me do that. This bitch up here processing shit like she Endeavor. He's like, fucking shield, sound, goddamn laser eyes. She's like, it must be this nigga. Let me move out his sight. Oh, I'm out his sight. I feel better. Let me shoot this nigga. I was like, she processing that shit like on the go, on the fly.
I wish she said it like that. If it had like that kind of a personality. Also, that's a question I have. So, remind me, how does Aizawa's power work again?
So it's supposed to stare at you, attack your plus alpha factors, and disable you as long as he has the ability to see you.
To see you?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that seem, and he doesn't have to keep eye contact, right? He just has to look at you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need eye contact.
No, he needs to keep his eyes open.
Yeah.
Okay, well, because
he doesn't need eye contact. He just needs to get you.
Because this would seem to contradict something from Overhaul Arc, which was always a weird scene anyway, where he knocks out, he takes out all three of the trash villains, the one who fights Sun Eater, and then he leaves, and then he says, take care of them before my quirk wears off. And I always thought he meant like before I blink, but if he's left and it's still working, then that would seem weird if in this fight the Nomu can just leave his line of sight and then.
Well, there's always a reactivation period.
Yeah, I think it has a lingering effect when he stops looking at you.
Yeah.
As soon as he stops looking at you, it's like starting to
go
away.
Because that's what I was trying to connect the dots on, because those seem to contradict each other.
So he was telling like y'all need to hurry up and get on him because he's fit to get back to normal.
And I think it's worse.
And then plus, remember, he knocked quirks. And then plus he knocked those things out. Remember, he knocked half the thugs out. So he was like, all right, I deactivate these niggas. I took these niggas down. Now you need to take care of them real quick.
Yeah, he one-shot Tabe and kept moving.
Yeah, but because I know the Larcency guy was like, that guy's not even here and my quirk feels weird. So I was like, okay, but he's not looking back. So I just didn't know if that was being consistent or not.
It's the same thing.
It's Horikoshi, man. Don't doubt Horikoshi. Talking about
even in Vigilantes when they're going against during the Sky Egg arc, and they take a helicopter to fly Aizawa up there so he can look at basically a Nomu. They make it a point to try to keep it from going behind the building so that Aizawa can't see it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that, and I also think it depends on the quirk, how fast it reactivates. I think some quirks reactivate faster than others.
And it changes nothing about the Sun Eater fight, because the whole point of the fight is that Sun Eater he's not doing the smart decision, but he's doing the decision that makes sense for him, and so they're going to let him take care of it. Because he should have just let Aizawa take them all out while they were incapacitated, but he wants to save every second and step up for Mirio. So it doesn't change anything like tactics wise. It was just something I noticed. So, okay. Thank you, guys.
Also, I realize we're going to see some weird high-end fan art eventually, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see some weird what?
She's a character now, solidified. It's not up for debate. She's an actual character now.
Oh, so
you're talking about
the person with mine. The high-end female normal, woman normal, she's a literal character now. Like, she's an actual part of this female cast now.
And she's like, this feels good. Awesome. Like, she's got, like, opinions.
Y'all crazy. We better not see that crap.
You better not what?
See that crap.
Well, if Studio Bones gave Ryukyu and Dragon form bigger boobies, they're gonna do it for the high end.
Hell nah.
They're gonna make her booty as thick as her knees in this explosion shot.
Oh yeah, and her acid
Oh,
shot.
can we take bets? When do we think Miracle's dying?
You mean like how many chapters? Are we betting on a specific chapter? What do you mean?
How many chapters?
Look at Dustin. Look at Dustin.
He's like, better be immediately.
No, I'm trying to think of what I'm listening to it because I'm trying to see where I want to bet. Is Flutter? Is Flutter?
Yeah, I'm here.
I don't think she's gonna die.
You bugging.
Just be chilling.
You're bugging.
I didn't say I wanted her to not die, but I just don't think she's gonna die.
That makes no sense for her, especially all the damage she's didn't receive. She has to die, bro.
Like if she, I don't care if she comes out of this alive. It doesn't. I don't mind as long as another hero dies.
No, she has to die, bro. It's not even just her. A lot of heroes have to die.
Yeah,
that's the only way you could justify the threat that you set up the villains in the last arc. And then
you're gonna take all 10 of the top 10 heroes.
I would hope so, or at least a majority of them.
Majority,
because if you're going to collapse the hero society, you got to take out the top. Amongst other things, you can't have these heroes surviving. Like if you're going to collapse the hero society and turn everything on its head, you have to literally turn everything on its head.
Yeah, but you said
there has to be real consequences.
There has to be a majority, but she doesn't have to be the ones that die as long as.
Bro, he's literally throwing her in the throes of death. I know people like Miracle a lot, and I understand that they like her, and that's great. But what other purpose does her character serve in the story other than to die a heroic death?
That's for the future to entail.
Bro, he's literally showing you in the story that she's bitten. She keeps saying, "Oh, doesn't matter if I die. I have to complete the mission before I die." Bro, she is going to.
I'm not saying it's impossible for her to die, but you
got to give me a reason for her character to still be relevant.
Because that color page,
I was gonna say
with like a cybernetic knee, so. Horikoshi.
No,
if you look at her knee, she's got like a metal thing on it too.
He can't draw the color page and have her no limbs missing. He can't do that.
Well,
she's losing both of her legs and an arm, but she'll live through the art.
Why though? You're telling me off of a cover page.
That's the thing.
What's the point of her living?
We're in quarantine.
On this. It's for later on, and later on we could get an explanation why she's there. Maybe she's like start. How's that a cop out?
Because her and Hawks can fulfill everybody's dreams.
Everything is pointing towards her dying, bro.
You're not thinking of the consequences Hori is carrying here. We are in quarantine. He is playing 5D chess. If he does not continue to draw Mirko, who is anyone going to fap to?
There's a lot of characters in my hero.
They are not black. We need Nubian clicks.
Miracle is going to die, bro.
Miracle is
going to die.
Quarantine has saved her life.
You just take Miracle as a one-trick pony, and Horikoshi will never use her again. That's how you're seeing it, and like. You're making it a negative. It doesn't have to be like that, but that's the way he's drawing and illustrating and writing the story for it to be like that. And that could be set up to a different plot.
Bro. I hate when people do that. Come on, my nigga. Like I'm not stupid. Of course, it's not one way to handle a character, but I'm not getting this from my own brain. I'm getting this from what Horikoshi has introduced her character as, the type of personality he's given her character, and what he's doing with her character right now. When we got first introduced to Miracle in the Pro Hero arc, she was the type of character where, I don't need nobody help. I can do this all on my own. Going after Dobby when in the flames. She's the type of character who's going to brush in, be rash, and is going to sacrifice herself. Her character is written to die in a heroic way. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's still possible for her not to die. It's very, very plausible for her not to die. That's all.
So okay, here's the thing.
It's probably going to happen.
Rex, Crux, get in here. Rex, aka Crux, get in here. Use your shields.
That was One Piece energy. Dustin just admitted. That was great.
I hate when niggas trying to play like they don't know, like with directly with their Dobby toy and shit. Like, bro,
let's talk about it.
Because one of the things that I want to talk about is how, if Endeavor dies, if Miracle dies, or Hawks dies, the other two of the three are dying. because in my eyes, they're kind of like our pro hero arc trinity, where to a certain degree, Hawks is like the detective who's doing all this investigative stuff behind the scenes, like Batman. You got Endeavor, who's being the bright red sun, literally like red sun, son of Krypton, and like Superman out here in the streets getting the dynamic poses. And you got Miracle out here like Wonder Woman, who's just running through the streets, fading people. And that's literally kind of how the dynamic works in like DC Comics. But like the three hold it together. If you look at the way this arc is going, like from the pro hero side, we had like some cool headshot moments, but the main pro focus has been like that Endeavor, Hawks, Miracle, Trinity. So I definitely think how they rise and how they fall is all going to be intertwined. So as we see Hawks sliding in more danger, you notice we see Miracle in even more danger. And so it's just a matter of time before we see Endeavor being the last of the pro heroes, I think.
Oh yeah, Miracle's dying, no question. I would never argue that.
Well, okay, well, let's get down to this. Let's get down to this factor, because this is also not up for debate. When tomorrow Shigaraki, that ultimate being, wakes up from that damn vat and he come out, All Might is dying. I don't know what y'all be reading. All Might dying. I'm not trying to read no threads. I'm not trying to hear it. That nigga dying. What
He's
do you
gonna
think?
dodge.
Shigaraki's whole goal this entire series has been not going to kill All Might since he stepped onto screen. And you think it's going to be almost 300, almost 200 something chapters later, you think Shiguraki get the ultimate power and be like, you know what? I'm going to let you live and suffer. No, the nigga faded a whole entire city. And you think he really finna get the ultimate power and just be like, you know what, All Might? I'm going to let you suffer through all the collapse of Hero Society. No, he said he's not underestimating heroes no more. He said he's taking that shit down.
He said he was done underestimating them.
Like, I don't know what y'all don't get.
Yeah, he was done underestimating them, and he said he was going to destroy the dregs of All Might and society. So I don't think that means watch.
And then people want to be like, well, Deku said he's going to change the future in his strong will, and then he want a lot of it to happen. Guess what? I didn't see Deku shake a whole entire city full of motherfuckers and a fucking one of the strongest niggas in the verse and made him pull up and think about the same energy that All for One had back in the day. That nigga Shigaraki nullified Trumpet's quirk, which amplifies people to give their life, and fucking cult bad people to give their life. And them niggas stopped and said, oh, he made Gentomaki freeze in his seat and it was like, damn, this nigga got the same energy as All for One. And you would think just because Deku wishes it, just because Deku alone wishes, I'm gonna save All Might. You know what I'm saying? I'm an MC. That is really gonna happen? You ain't been reading My Hero. Stop.
You also have to consider the fact that All Might was there whenever All for One said, like, the reason that my bird has flown the nest and is getting stronger is because I'm no longer there to whatever. And we've had All Might say, like, you no longer look back at me, and that's good. So if he wants to accept his fate, because remember, the reason that All Might believes he changed the future is that he was able to do it. He was able to fight against it while other people were also like cheering for him. That's the same way we beat Shizaki. It wasn't just Deku. It wasn't just the protagonist. It was so many people fighting for this one future. But the only person who knows that All Might's going to die is Deku and All Might. And if All Might is the second half of that, like, will to survive, and he says, you know what? I don't need to be here for you anymore. And if I am, I'm going to be a hindrance. And so he accepts his fate. There's nothing Deku can do. So
there's also something that My Hero has that I also like about Hunter x Hunter, which I call the stay in your lane effect, where just because you're an MC does not mean you get to pull up on the big bad of the arc. That doesn't mean you get to pull up and stop the bad things from happening, because so what? You're the MC. That don't mean your life don't get to suck, nigga.
Yeah, Deku only beat Overhaul because of Eri.
And like Gon didn't get to pull up on the Ant King.
Yeah.
He would have got washed.
Yeah.
Deku's not pulling up on Shigaraki. There's nothing Deku can currently do to stop.
Deku hasn't been the protagonist for 50 chapters, and he doesn't even know half the things we know. So
like,
there's a lot.
Deku is out of the loop. Deku is not, there's nothing within the story to let Deku win here.
Yeah.
So the idea that Deku is stopping Shigaraki from taking All Might out is purely like some weird, it's a shonen logic.
It's funny. Yeah, you're right. It's funny. Deku still thinks it's season 3 because he still thinks he's just in training mode. He doesn't know there's like a whole like thing going on behind the scenes with Hawk and all that stuff.
If All Might doesn't die, Horikoshi is ass for that.
Like people tried to pull the "it's a shonen" type logic with My Hero when Bakugo got kidnapped.
Yeah.
And then Bakugo was like, "No." So I just don't see All Might making it. Also, yeah, I want to see Yoroi Musha get to do something, but I feel like any pro hero we see go wild is dying.
Yeah, you realize Yoro Musha is literally Batman incarnate within My Hero, right?
I hate this nigga sometimes. This nigga be gassing.
They call this man the equipped hero, bro. All right, watch. Unlike Watch, he actually got a raw design.
What?
He did. He did.
Like Wash design is raw. You not
It's
gonna
raw.
Y'all not gonna act like y'all really upset that he's telling the truth.
I fuck with Watch.
Watch is like the most simple ass design. Like this nigga don't have a raw design.
He has a marketable design.
This shit is simple as hell.
I don't know, man.
Nah, but
are kind of scary.
Keep talking about the top 10 like that, bro.
Rex is the biggest capper I've met, bro.
Yeah. But I agree with everything Aniki and East are saying. Like the signs are just like.
Who's talking? Is Ian talking? Is somebody talking?
Yeah, you gotta leave and come back.
Bro, I did. That's the reason I left the first time because I couldn't hear Ian.
Oh, my apologies.
It's not your fault. Ian is his trash connection, folks.
But yeah, I think East and Aniki pretty much summed up that side of the argument pretty well. And there's just so many signs pointing to it that it's not just like a death for the sake of being a death. It would make the story better. You know, and
All Might dying, Crush dying, Miracle dying, Endeavor dying, Hawks dying, that Samurai nigga dying, Wash need to die.
Conway Wood can stay because I think he still has more to grow.
Tommy Wood died too because he's a young upstart that can get killed. Like he has so much potential, but he died still.
There's going to be a lot of deaths. I understand that. There are going to need to be adults to train the younger generation, though. That's all.
It doesn't. No, but it's even better if these niggas have to be on their own.
Great teenagers.
And it doesn't. The adults don't have to be. The adults don't have to be somebody that the adult could be somebody that we don't even. That's not even introduced to the story yet. Because a lot of people think that the kid's gonna have to go high to America like All Might did.
Captain Celebrity.
Let's keep just let the third year. They've graduated, right? So they're adults now. Like they're pro heroes.
You're talking about the big three?
Yeah, like Sun Eater, Mirio, and
I can see Mirio leading them without a quirk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's where those characters would shine. Is that they are the leftovers, like they're in that generation, the old generation.
I definitely see
so y'all see it going like this. So Mirio is at U8,
like
and then he pulled him into his janitor closet. And he's like, "All right, you guys, excuse my mops and my cleaning."
Are we seriously gonna be talking trash about Mirio?
Bro, do you know how destructive Shigaraki power is? He can kill a lot of people easily at one time.
I'm not saying he can't.
Not Mario's closet.
I'm saying that like you guys want a fucking bloodbath. That's what I'm like.
You don't want what? You don't want
Stoning, my nigga. Yo, I'm just being realistic.
You don't want.
Hold up.
Yeah.
We don't slander Mirio in my streams, nigga. You know this.
Hey, speaking of which, Aniki, are we doing the season 4 stream today?
Season 4.
Because season 4 wrapped up. Ian suggested we do a season 4 stream.
Why?
Because it's fun.
I guess just to discuss them.
You guys don't understand. None of you are invited. It's just me and Aniki.
This nigga.
Damn.
Well, good. That makes me feel better about it because I get to go. I don't want to do a season 4 stream. Y'all have fun. Y'all do your season 4 stream.
Damn.
Hey, damn. Y'all niggas acting mean. Yeah.
Y'all should do that top tier waifu stream though.
Yeah.
Hey,
where Flo at? Oh, where Flo at? Let me come.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm coming back for you. Now, you talking about this is just a shonen that we want a bloodbath, right?
My nigga, there's no way in hell the tire up the shonen is going to all these characters dying.
Why not? They're not the main cast. They're not the main cast. Why not?
I can't hear Flo now, man. Jesus Christ.
They're not the main cast. They don't look like it's the main cast.
Let me
doesn't
clarify
matter
something.
if
So,
the main
but
cast
Flo,
is not. There's never there are prominent support characters that are heavily
Mirko's not
either
a prominent
filtered
support
or
character. Mirko's not a prominent support character.
in this arc. Yeah,
he
they are.
In this arc, she got introduced in this arc. She can come in this arc and die in this arc. You talking about a prominent support character? Somebody's gonna be throughout the series.
Throughout the all right, in this arc, it's still not happening. You guys aren't getting a bloodbath.
Night was a prominent support character in his arc, and he died in his arc.
How many people died in that arc?
Night died in that arc.
All right, you see, it's like this. Like you gotta keep the numbers. Like still, I know this is a war.
Bro, but this arc
like,
has been built up from the start of the series. That's why we think it's not like we're thinking anybody. It's not like we're hoping that a bunch of people die every arc. No, this is an arc that's been set up for the point of the series, and it's supposed to be the collapse of the hero society. If you're going to collapse the hero society, people have to die.
Not
necessarily still. That doesn't have to be the case.
It's necessary. It's part of. You can't collapse the hero society without people dying.
No, you collapse the hero society. You don't just kill people. That's not how it works.
It's part of it. You can't collapse the hero society without the top heroes dying. You can't do that.
If you break there's still several ways to handle that.
No, bro, you reaching.
I'll let you speak to dig your grave because
no, I'm not. I wasn't even done before Dustin started interrupting me.
Speaking facts, right?
It's still shonen. Y'all, I'm saying maybe five
Bro,
heroes.
Chainsaw Man is shonen. They had 4 women on the cover scissoring naked.
That did happen with Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I think the adults are in the clear to die.
Listen though,
because they're adults.
You said we don't need a bloodbath, or there will be no bloodbath, but we already had a bloodbath. NBA, look, people excluded because there were no names. Shigaraki and they were literally killing dozens and thousands of fucking people, innocent people in a fucking store. Like we seen them stab people in the head. They cocaine people.
Shigaraki killed his mother, bro.
Shonen does not give a damn about cannon fodder. They never have.
Oh, we see Shigaraki kill his own mother violently.
He's not arguing for the violence. He's just arguing for who is allowed to die, right?
Yes, that's all. This is like characters. Like there's never ever been a shonen where it was just like all these characters die, where you could outright name them. You can't just be like, oh, a whole bunch of cannon fodder died.
Was the killing Kami got killed, shonen or seinen?
That shit is shown. If somebody called that shit a seinen, I don't ever want to hear a seinen in the league.
Nobody answered.
That shit is ironically.
A lot of people died in there. But you can't sit here and like main characters were dying in there.
Okay, wait.
Within a span of time, I understand.
No. I'm talking about like from the jump, like little, like do you think as we introduced to him?
I'm talking about like from like one story arc though. That's all I'm saying. Like within one arc, I don't want to see all these characters die.
Bro, you're underestimating the importance of this. This is not just an ordinary arc. This is an arc that's been like this is gonna make or break the series. This arc has been set up. This arc has been set up since the beginning of the series.
Here's the other thing.
This is the collapse of the hero society.
This is literally structured to be multiple of the students' Uncle Ben moment. Like Tokoyami, Tokoyami has been built up in the background, right? Like, don't get me wrong. There's people out there that'll pretend like Tokoyami ain't been having his whole story being built up, but like people who actually like read it. Tokoyami stands, everybody. This has been built up for a while, so like that, especially because when you look back to like joint training, where Tokoyami is like, we both carry the legacy of the number 2 and 1 hero. So you got to go out there because I embarrassed myself, Shoto. So we got this whole thing about like legacy having to be passed down, already established within joint training. We got the fact that senseis are always on the chopping block in shonen. Like, so for Endeavor and Hawks, at this point, like Endeavor's giving his family a new home. His wife, like based on a letter that she wrote to Shoto before this time skip, was already on her way out the hospital. So that plot, like the Todoroki family drama, all that's left is for him to find out that like Toya exists. And really, he doesn't even need to learn that. That's more important to his family. He's going to die with that shame regardless. So... And
I gotta know Toya's still alive.
Yeah, he got no because he's the one that he believes that he killed him. Or
It makes no sense for Horikoshi to have that black bubble with Hawks if it's not for Endeavor to know.
It might just be for Shoto.
Nah, nigga.
Nah, because nah, listen, hold on. Shoto is mid compared to Natsuo's reaction. So the most pivotal character will have to be is Endeavor because Natsuo more than anybody is the most angry and upset, and he believes that Endeavor killed him. So that Natsuo will have a better reaction than Todoroki.
We seen Endeavor still going visiting Toya's shrine and shit. Like he has to know what he did, what happened to his son before he dies.
Also, he believes he killed him.
Flo, somebody pointed out that Kimetsu no Yaiba let hella people drop.
That's not fair though.
Within the same arc?
Yeah.
That's not fair though, because that's the final arc.
It's still a war arc.
But it's the final arc.
Yeah,
but at the same time, we got 2 layers of characters though. We got our main cast, we got our side cast.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling the Flow. Like these characters are not the main cast. Like students, I don't believe.
This is how I see it. If all right, I honestly, these 3 characters probably are the top 3 that are definitely dying. Right, Endeavor, Hawks, and All Might.
Yes.
After that, it was just like, okay, I could see all these characters die, but if they don't die, I could see them doing something else later, right? You got like, the Kami Woods, the Wash, and like Miracle, like these characters, they can die, but it doesn't matter if they do die to me or not. But then who else? But if those characters die, then I don't see like Aizawa and like Mate and Present might die.
I ain't gonna lie, I see Aizawa down. I wouldn't be like if he didn't die, okay, but I can see him dying because his death would be impactful.
I think Aizawa is good to go, just simply because I think if he was gonna die, it would be most impactful if he was near his students.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna die right now. But I think he's gonna. Like, I mean, like at this current where he's at. But I still think he can die in his work.
Also, I would enjoy the idea of Aizawa making it to the end of the series, just because I like him a lot.
See, that's what we're talking about. Niggas be taking they like niggas, so they want them to live.
Yeah,
okay.
but
One of the things
so I can just lean on whichever direction I want. That's why I'm saying that. Yeah.
No, you're allowed to have that. I have feel the same way about Bakugo.
The thing with Aizawa, I'll say, is that because of his experiences with Shirakumo, I think having him around would actually be good for the students, like post this arc and dealing with how to cope with like that, and like him being their primary teacher role in the story. I think having that, like him keep fulfilling that purpose through the story does have merit.
Yeah, like I said earlier, how I want at least one adult to groom the kids as they're growing up to defeat the villains later.
Man, I want Horikoshi to let his dick out and set a precedent and shown it as never been said before. That's what I want him to do.
So long as he never touches Eri again, then we're good. He can kill anybody else. I don't care.
I don't think Shonen would. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. I already thought of one.
In any regard,
were you gonna say Promise Neverland?
In any regard,
this Promise Neverland chapter was so ass today.
I'm heated because I
was thinking of Full Metal with the little girl.
That shit was graphic.
Yeah.
I'm still hurt by that to this day. I'm like, no, why did y'all do that?
Sorry, you said I didn't interrupt you.
Huh?
Or what were you gonna say, East?
Oh, I was talking about even at this point too, when somebody grooms the kids or whatever, if somebody does happen, it won't even be just one person. Like the kids were, I don't think class 1A at this point. Class 1A is not gonna be all class 1A. Like they're gonna be fractured and split up. It's like where I don't think they're gonna be just like your typical class 1A. Like people are gonna start splitting off in their own directions because even when they eventually do take back Hirosai at the end of the series, people have to start going their own. I think they start hitting their own paths of what they want to do now.
I don't know, because I feel like Corey wouldn't want to split that dynamic, and also that's just a lot of more perspectives he has to keep up with. And if people already are just like, "Oh, Class 1A doesn't get enough screen time," then even more so they're probably going to say that. If he's just like, "All right, Bakugo's leading a team over here, Todoroki's leading a team over here," so I think I get you, but I just think it makes more sense for us keeping things simple to just keep them together. But you could be right.
But what about all the other students too, though, from all the other schools and the other classes? Because I feel like
that's kind of why I feel like he has to do the teams thing.
Okay.
because we have to get to a point in the story where one, like Bakugo and Shoto need to start like getting their own like hero stuff going. Like we need to see their progression of career. Same with Tokoyami. With that, if you give like the already established like Baku squad, like Shoto would actually be with Ida, so that allows us to like more than likely, so that would allow us to keep that pairing together. You'd have like Tokoyami and Shoji, so like we'd be able to rotate through and then have them different platoons meet up and do quick, 8-10 chapter arcs where we get to see them interact with each other in their own hero teams and stuff, and still build up to the students. So what it kind of comes down to is the teams, if anything, enables Horty to have like good excuses and ways to move the plot through different people's investigations and story arcs to like, if you wanted to say like lengthen the series, whereas I think you almost have to fast track if you keep them all together because there's no reason for it to not get done and handled.
Oh, and he's kind of already tried what you're saying with Endeavor, because Endeavor is like the third protagonist of the series.
Yeah,
I think.
Because
sorry, you go on, East.
Well, real quick, I just want to say, because Anaki's backing up what I'm saying, because even within Class 1A, not everybody fucks with each other. Like, there's certain groups of people that fuck cool with each other that don't.
Yeah, or Coach even spot like you'll see Ochiko and Suyu and Invisible Girl, they got their own little clique. Like he constantly shows it like in background panels, so who clicked up with who.
Yeah, this isn't even considering Class B, so yeah, maybe splitting them up into teams would also be good.
But I think Ochiko would be on Deku team if they did split into teams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just like you don't, but like for example, you don't actually see Deku and Ojiro talk a lot. Mm-hmm. And Ojiro is also not in the foreground a lot. And that's one of the things to remember also. Well, one of the things to remember also is that because this is a story of Deku's progress, the closer people are to him in relation or in proximity to people that matter to him, the more likely they go up. The reason why Tokoyami doesn't get a lot of focus is if you look to a lot of like the scenes, Tokoyami's usually only really with Shoji. And yeah, they like him and Deku are cool, but they clearly aren't like bros.
Yeah.
But Tokoyami is also a heavy hitter. As we keep seeing, like he's relevant as far as like power goes, as far as what these events become. So it makes a special sense that we finally get to see him like against villains in action again this arc because of the fact that Hawks is so relevant to it. So what we're getting with Tokoyami is a byproduct of his proximity to these events, not necessarily in relation to his proximity to Deku, whereas characters like Ojiro are rarely seen because they have almost no proximity to Deku, even if they are around for some of these events.
Yeah. And the thing I was saying about Endeavor, why I consider him the third protagonist, is if Midori is the protagonist of the hero side and Shigaraki was the protagonist is the protagonist of the villain side, that used to be kind of where the split was because they were the two perspectives. But with Endeavor, he encapsulates a part of the story Deku hasn't even touched yet for like over 50 chapters. So he is moving the plot with Hawks and his side of characters that Deku basically has very little influence over. So I consider him like the third protagonist of the series at this point because he is moving the plot in ways that Deku can't even touch.
Yeah.
Especially when you factor in that Deku's work study and him specifically getting trained more up close by Endeavor was a decision Endeavor made, not one that Deku himself necessarily made.
Well, and that's an Endeavor arc disguised as a kid arc.
Yeah.
So,
that was really Shoto.
Yeah.
Was like, I'm not going to train with you if you don't train them.
Yeah.
No, but Endeavor read the message from Hawks, immediately stepped out and was like, all three of you with me.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about that moment. Because he could have just been like, Burnin, you train him.
Yeah, like
originally, like that. It was still because of Shoto. Shoto was like,
no, because like they said that because Shoto said that after. But the thing is that Burnin was explaining how the squads were going to be set up, and she was like, Shoto's going to be with him. You two are probably going to be with me. But while that was being said, was when Endeavor was in the office reading the Meta Liberation Army book. So that was the original plan. He read the book, realized what Hawks was saying, came out immediately, chooses to train them.
Oh,
so
okay,
to me, that just coincided. It just made him be like, all right, there's no way around it. Because when Shoto said that, and then when he read that, it was like, all right, well, it's no way around it.
Well, Shoto was like, we're not friends. Like train with that. Like that conversation came after he read the book.
Yeah, but does that make sense? What I was trying to say, Dustin, that he's kind of like the third protagonist. Does that seem to make?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I don't think he's a. I mean, it makes sense what you're saying, I agree
You
that
just might not use that terminology.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not wrong in what you're saying.
Well, yeah, it's like how I say the main characters aren't 1A. It's like the elite of the pinnacle. So it's like Bakugo, Shoto, Deku, like Tokoyami, Endeavor, Hawks, Shigaraki, them, because they're like the peak and like the future leaders and current generation leaders of like what's happening in the story.
Let's use a different terminology for it. Let's use perspective or drive force. That probably
okay. So he's a third perspective character.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. In order to flesh out the world and drive the plot forward, etc. I think that's a better terminology. Like you're spot on what you said, but I think if you use a different terminology or word for it, then it probably hit Dustin or everybody else a little bit harder or stick better.
So it's our third perspective character.
Yeah.
Oh, because
we
really,
get to all sides of the hero society, like from beginning from like we are basically seeing how quirkless people treated in the first couple of chapters. And then you get to see how the kids come up and their ignorance is bliss to everything, and then you start seeing more and more higher things exposed as the world is fleshed out. Because think about it, even right now, the naivety of the kids, they really don't know what the fuck is going on. Like think Deco and them really don't know that all this. Like they don't know Shigaraki and them powering up. They don't know all that shit. Like
that's not them being naive. That's them being ignorant to what's going on.
No, I know. I'm saying like it's the ignorance. Like they're coming up. They don't know everything about being. Like they're still learning. Even in class, they're still learning how to be heroes. Like they just learned what a catchphrase truly means as far as like growing up and stuff like that.
You just mean ignorance, and then they just lack knowledge. They just lack certain information we have.
Yeah, as opposed like we won't get the same views on Hero Society that we would from Hawks and Endeavor because they're actually in the shits. The kids are learning to the basis, but it won't have the same impact as seeing what a hero is really about as you see like Endeavor. Like basically that's what I'm trying to get.
Yeah,
they've been doing this shit.
Wait. So did we answer the question of when Miracle's dying?
Yeah, we went way off from
that.
Oh
yeah, we did go off that.
Yeah.
Any bets? Like
I got 5 chapters.
Really?
In between now and 5 chapters.
I got 3.
Nigga, you can't say you didn't argue me down by her. You gotta say 7 or 8.
He just wanted to one up Rex.
I just wanted to fucking troll.
Yeah, this whole time he was just like, he's like, yeah, no one's gonna die, is what I would say if I wasn't doing devil's advocate the whole time.
Yeah.
He's like, but what if?
He's like, just hear me out. Just hear me out for 10 minutes while I mess with
you. Flo coming in. Now, if I had to choose one.
But I think Miracle dies, then
yeah, I'm only on here to troll and talk shit, and then when I gotta really talk, like you'll know,
No,
well, I
see, like everybody was like Flo quiet. Well, see why Flo quiet, y'all? When he raised his voice, he get up into it.
I think that
nigga had his hockey up with Dustin.
I think that Miracle dies in like 10 chapters or more. I think it's no more than it's more than 10 chapters, and then she dies.
But how she do the story too fast though for me to say 10 chapters.
I know, but I think that what's going to happen is that next chapter.
That's why I'm like
the next couple chapters we're going to go away from this. So I think that.
All right. So what we doing? We get the next topic. What we wrapping?
We gotta catch up with 5 weenies.
Well, can y'all not hear me? Am I low?
I can hear you. I don't think can East hear you?
Oh, East can't hear Rex.
Oh no, your curse shifted.
Down, Rex.
Yeah, I thought you should just saying fuck with Rex.
Yeah.
He was like,
because it was really smooth how you said it too. You're just like, anyway. It was like as if you did hear it.
I kind of understood it because that nigga think Dobby not toys. I kind of felt him, but I was still like, damn, that's pretty rude.
Justin low keys agrees, but doesn't outright say it.
Rex is my fault, bro.
The number 10 hero is Ryukyu. She's a female hero. Like what?
Should be Gang Orca.
Like
if Mirko dies, I drop MHA.
No strong heroes. The dragon hero is strong. Milady, Ragdoll, they're still relatively strong in terms of like despite regular villains and not top
Right.
tier.
I think I know what he means because or she or whoever they want it to be like a person of prominence in the story, not just like Ryukyu, which is kind of there in Overhaul arc and was just there to break the ceiling. But I understand what you mean. But I think Ochako and Momo have been perfectly set up to get their moments. Like
if you drop my hero because of Miracle dying, you don't deserve to be a fan anyway.
Well, not only that, it's like, yes, Miracle is the strongest female hero in the series as of now, but we have like Ochako, Stu, we have Momo, we have Kendo, we have all these people that's coming up that's going to be prominent. So, like, yeah, like right now, like she dying will like leave a vacuum, but the whole point is these female heroes coming up are going to like change everything.
Yeah, Ochako's arc is literally she is going to protect a hero and fight on their behalf. At least that's how it's being set up. And then Momo seems to be like coming up with a master plan that works. So
just mentioned Sue is set up to
Miracle. She's to replace the Miracle.
Yeah.
So she's meant to be cool.
Sue, because except like she won't have like the super hearing or whatever that Miracle still has, but she's gonna have the same speed advantage, the same she's gonna have more range. She's gonna have camouflage.
She ain't gonna have a fighting prowess though.
I mean, if she actually started training her like up her body,
She could easily, yeah.
No, because she's a frog, so she ain't able to fight like how the rabbits fight.
But yeah,
but she can have a variety. Like she don't have to fight the same exact way, but she can have her own type of technique to it.
But, you know what I'm saying? She got to be a fighter, but she's not gonna have like I'm talking about. She gonna be able to have that brute force.
I mean,
that's not her. That's not her. That's not even in her. Like she's not even. Her skills are not even to be that type of hero. Her skills would be like a rescue type hero.
But here's the proportional jumping force of a frog's legs, and like for where they travel, is significantly higher than the proportional strength of a bunny's legs. So
I was saying,
I hate when niggas do that. No, niggas have the proportional.
But one thing
we can talk about the proportion.
Y'all know damn well that Sue is not no fighting hero, bro.
Yeah, she is.
And during training arc, she stomped her boy out. That used the scales to shield his body. She stomped the fuck out of that nigga.
Did she break the down barrier by throwing someone?
She drop kicked somebody.
Yeah, like during training, she knocked that nigga that wore the scales. Like he hardened his body with scales.
One shot.
Stomped that nigga. Like
yeah, and my thing is,
y'all capping.
We don't know.
I'm gonna just end this. I'm gonna just end this real quick. Even though if Frog's legs on proportion are stronger than rabbits. Rabbits are still faster, so you can't really say anything.
Look, all I'm saying is which character, from Joint Training Arc, which character has recently been in their bag and who's about to be in a bag. That's all I'm saying.
Here you go again.
No, I'm just saying, bro. Like we don't know how strong Miracle was in high school.
We're in trouble making this whole stream. Oh, Rick's talking.
I
knew that nigga was talking because nobody was talking. I was like, man.
Well, you gotta leave the call and come back, East.
Did you hear my bad joke, East?
I heard your bad joke. I'm scared because if I leave, I might get the curse. My shit has been good this whole stream. If I leave, my curse might come back.
Man, I left 7 or 8 times. Aniki saw me. I was like, please just work. Man.
Also, female Nomu being the strongest female in MHA is I'm okay with that because I feel like if any of the Nomu get more backstory, it's gonna be this.
Yeah, that one.
So
she got a name?
She's gonna be
right now. She's just woman, which is something that I thought was worth noting because when the doctor was specifically saying which Nomu, he was like only woman and a few others are like ready. Have had any like semblance of testing, so that was the one he seemed to favor the most. So if we get more perspective from her going forward, what? Hold up. You want Aizawa dead instead of Miracle?
Whoa,
niggas are just
capping.
Niggas are just this love for Miracle is like. We all know why niggas love Miracle so much. I don't even understand it.
Honestly,
Cause she's so muscular, bro. I don't like muscular white right now.
You got bad taste in that, bro. That's okay.
She's muscular, bro. That's why I don't like Tiana Trump, because she's muscular as shit. Like she's too muscular.
Oh, okay, now you cap, bro.
Bro, she is muscular.
Muscular, like
she's muscular, bro. She's not a bodybuilder, but you can see the definition. I don't want to see no definition.
That's fit,
What's
my
good,
nigga.
Dusty?
What, you sound like you a little.
I like my women soft and delicate, bro. I don't like no definition.
You sound like
So
toxic.
you can't handle a strong woman, huh?
Not a physically strong woman. I don't want to.
Ooh.
I don't want to be. I mean,
Hey,
she
it's
can
all
be
about
strong,
practice.
but not like I don't want to see
Yeah.
muscles bulging, my nigga. I'm good.
So would Mirko not be in your top 10 waifu list?
Like if a girl
For
got
every
washboard abs, I'm cool, bro.
Mirko is the top for me because she's black. That's all.
She's not even black. She just brown, nigga.
She's black. Fuck me.
What you mean? It's Latina women. It's Latinas that's darker.
She
It's
relates.
darker than me and you, but they not black.
So
No,
here my
they're black
question.
Latinos.
Is Nana not bad to you too, then?
Well, she was until they made her all muscular.
Wait,
she wasn't that muscular on her first introduction. They made her like super muscular. I'm like, bro, that's crazy.
She's Superman now,
Yeah, like, what?
and it's
Yeah.
great.
Gran Torino up there too. That old.
It don't mean I don't like their characters. It's just like I'm not looking at them in that other way because they muscular. Bro. I don't like no muscular chick. It's crazy.
You're looking at them for their character, but not their character.
If you like a muscular chick, you might as well go curl up next to a nigga.
What? No, that's just sexist
You
and homophobic.
Damn.
I don't care what you call it, nigga. It's a fact.
Nigga, you problematic.
No,
I can't
that's
have
not a
this.
fact. That is far from a fact.
There's
That is
levels.
That's a fact. Hey, man, go ahead, curl up into a nigga,
far
man.
from a fact. That's
Go ahead, Flo.
Damn.
Go ahead, Flo. Go ahead, Flo.
I don't obsess with out of pocket shit.
Curl
man. I don't obsess with
up to some
out-of-pocket
biceps and some abs.
No, you just it's
shit.
Dig it.
All right.
I like women soft and
that's
delicate.
a fucking strong, independent woman. That's what you need in your
I
life.
can hear
A
you.
bunch of strong into women, people
Okay.
that are soft and delicate on the outside. You ain't gotta be.
No, you can't be strong and soft.
Too.
Nah, you can be soft. Nah,
See,
that
I
nigga
think
women.
round.
Bro, so, look,
See, I feel like
I'm the wrong y'all bugging.
you grab they cakes and it's like,
Yeah, so-
boom, you slap that ass and that ass slap back, boy. What you mean?
That's what I like.
Hey, see, I think Ronda Rousey like to be tickled. Y'all think Ronda Rousey like to be tickled?
I ain't fucking with Ronda
Beat the fuck
Rousey.
out you. Beat the fuck out you.
what is this?
Man, Ronda
He
Rousey likes to
said
be
something-
tickled. She does, definitely.
I ain't fucking with
He
Ronda
said,
Rousey,
yeah.
my nigga.
Because he said some muscular women like they soft and delicate on the inside. So I'm like, you think Ronda Rousey like to be tickled, dog?
She definitely does. I can tell. I can see
All right, Dustin, what about Burning?
Nah, Bernie kind of got like manly-ish.
Nah, Burning bad. Oh, you care, man.
Nah,
That's
it's
my
not.
I need
What do you
more
think
from
of
her.
Fayumi?
For you, he's all right.
All right.
You know, I'm more of the midnight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I like the
Dustin
super
like,
hyper.
yeah, he like it like that.
I like the trash character.
Mount Lady.
Oh,
Bro, Mount
my
Lady, Mount Lady,
God.
regular clothes hit, bro.
Damn, bro.
Mount Lady, regular clothes be hitting, man.
Mount Lady got that cake. What you talking about?
That's
She
crazy.
also got that. She also got that Kamui Woods. So you know. She's
Oh,
taking-
that's not confirmed. That's not confirmed.
Oh, come on, Dustin. Come on.
Yeah.
Come
Don't,
on.
Rex,
Damn,
you,
nigga,
wait,
you
wait,
got
wait,
That's not confirmed.
wait, Rex, you of all people better not come on me about anything, my nigga. Don't come on me about anything, my nigga. Please don't do that. That's not a pause. Come on. I said, don't come on me about anything.
Come on, me. Don't come on. Yeah, that's a
You
pause.
reach it. That's a reach.
Crying, dog.
That's
No.
not a reach. It's not a
That's
reach.
a that is a reach. You reach it.
That was
You had to
it
reach
was
for
a
that.
little sus. It was a little sus, but we'll let you
But
rock.
we're nah, nigga. Don't play with me.
Hold up.
We'll let you rock.
Oh, wait.
Don't play with me, nigga.
Dude, grade A under A is here.
Hey, yo, what? Why you wild?
Yeah, yo.
This nigga got 4 D's in his name. Dangerously dubious double Davidson. What?
That's his middle name.
I never said I don't like nothing about the BDSM. I'm talking about just her being a soft looking woman. I didn't say I liked her BDSM shit. Come on, my nigga. I'm trying to
What do you think of Ragdoll with her I see 1,000 yards with her eyes? What about that girl?
I don't care about what they can do. I'm talking about
No,
them
but
being
she's got
soft
About her
looking.
freaky eyes looking at you.
Nah, you can't see that. She's soft looking.
Okay.
I like soft, delicate women. I don't like muscular women. Like
Brava. Yeah, I feel you.
I don't like children either.
She's 22. She's just a midget. You never seen.
Yeah.
I done seen a couple bitches walking down the street like, God damn, that's a fatty right there.
Would y'all? I know this way on Tommy. Would y'all smash a midget?
Yes, sir.
I'll please.
I've had this conversation with my homies like tons of times, and I still don't know. To this day, I don't know if I'll do it.
Wait, you know.
I don't.
Is she bad? Is she bad? Is she a bad bitch?
Yeah, then that's different. That's different.
Yeah, she's a bad bitch.
Oh, you said a midget, man. Bro, I'm trying to tell you.
But what about if she was just cute, right? What if
is she cute? Is she cute? Is she
cute. Like not like not like just like
if she got some booty on her, that's all I'm caring about.
They all do, bro.
Yeah.
You think LeBron? Come on, man.
Hey, come on, man.
Top and bottom, bro.
You tripping?
What the? Hey, Dustin.
Yeah.
Homie in the comment section said, "What if Ochako put on a bunch of muscle post times?"
Then she is like, I would hate her character.
Yeah, man, I thought you just said you don't hate the character. You don't.
No, because I love Ochako. So we not hate her coaching. Why would you ruin Ochako by making her muscle?
She gonna pull up Sword and Deku be like.
So that's actually. I've got a question for Dustin. Why do you like Ochako so much?
Because she's the true definition of a best girl. Like she supports, like she believes in this nigga Deku. Like when in a sports festival when she like went with this nigga playing, just trusting and believing this nigga, not doubting him. That's a real best girl. She's solid all the way through.
Okay, I just didn't know if like other things that had happened throughout the series, if it was just like one moment, or if just like consistently you like something.
No, it's just her character. It's just the way she moves. I just want to. We need to see more of her though. It's getting about that time. It's really been about that time, but.
She'll pack a bed, but we're gonna have that conversation one of these days.
Hey, let's
not even bring up her.
Hey, but let's
joint training.
What?
Listen, yeah, I'm saying that's what I'm about to say. Aniki, I'm like, yeah, it's about time she get her villain fight, like her real deal, like
VP round 5.
How they had it, but like she had her shit in joint training. She was knocking niggas down.
I like all the characterization it gave her and stuff like that.
Yeah, but she needs a fight, bro.
Oh yeah, no, I want to see her throw hands for it.
Definitely, I agree. Aizawa also needs one.
Bakugo ain't got his either, so it's like.
No, that's the fun part about him. He just fights heroes.
Especially if she got that wire now, so I kind of want to see her use like floating fall attacks and like that kind of stuff. Like I want to see her pop off.
Yeah,
I want to see her hitting some flips and shit. Goddamn.
I need Yutaka Nakamura to animate whatever fight she gets and make her do ludicrous things with her gunhead martial arts and make cubes. That's all I need.
So when the cubes popped up in the season finale,
I'm not gonna lie, the Wild Wild Pussycats are like good, bro.
Yes, they fly.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
They fly.
All three of them.
They got skills. They got
Tiger's a girl too.
Yeah, you're right. All 4 of them. My bad.
No, I was just.
You're right. My bad. All 4.
Bugging.
I don't know. Tiger, man, protects you when he get, warm you up when it get cold. I don't know, man.
Yeah, so see, I think y'all like to curl up to niggas. Look out to see.
This man
does. Tiger identifies as a male.
Oh, right.
That's gay.
Wait, I was thinking.
Yes.
Wait, isn't it a woman though?
No, Tiger.
No, it identifies as a male, fool.
Biological.
So you call
I was flipping it with Magna. My
bad. Tiger is biologically a male.
No.
Tiger's a trip to Taiwan.
Huh?
Yeah, that's
Tiger's biologically a female.
How?
Tiger's a trip to Taiwan.
No, that's what it's.
No, he's going for the volume.
Wait, Tiger's man?
Yeah, Tiger's a woman that went to a man.
Oh shit!
Just like Magnate's a man that.
Where are you getting this from? The data book?
No,
it was just in like a volume. It was just like here's like their character bios.
Yeah, because in every volume, when the characters introduce Horikoshi does the bios, like what they like, those things that we see on the top of the middle credits in the anime. He does that all in the volumes. It's more detailed in the volume.
So yeah, they edited it for the American release, but it's like originally a woman. I once visited Thailand. Made it a point to highlight going to Thailand, which is famous for reassignment surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Interesting.
I can't
And
imagine.
by the way, I want.
Well,
By the way, Kamui Woods and Midnight actually confirmed live together through the Ultra Analysis book. They stay together, like
Midnight?
in the same house.
you mean Mount Lady?
Mount Lady. Yeah, I'm tripping.
I was gonna say
Mount
that's
Lady
crazy.
Kamui Woods.
No wonder Mount Lady was showing off in that one chapter.
You may be smashing, but they in a couple.
Damn, boy.
Yo,
Oh,
this dude is
hell.
he ain't no cowboy.
I'm saying he's smashing.
Hey, look.
They not nothing.
Good enough.
I got a chance.
My boo.
You can't live with Mount Lady. She not giving it up. That's like she gonna give it up.
Apparently, BG's here. I think he wants an I can leave, so he can get in.
I know.
No, I can hop out.
Because I can go out. Damn. All right.
You can go out.
Okay. Who's hopping out?
okay.
Everybody have-
No, I just feel
Thanks,
like
Dad.
I ran Flo off the road. That's why he finna get out. I ran him off.
Yeah, nah.
No, I just have to
No. Just exit the car, nigga. I ran you off the road. Just exit the car. I ran you off.
You know
All right,
Floyd is
listen.
leaving now. You know Floyd is leaving now.
I'll take a bow so BG can get in. All right, y'all.
All right. Thanks, Keith.
You already know Flo gonna be here after everyone leave. He gonna be here 20 minutes. I think he gonna be going. If Flo like, I'll show that nigga dust.
Yeah, he can say all he wants. I'm gonna be like this. I think about that nigga. Gonna be doing whatever, watching.
Hey, we got BG in the building.
Yo, what up, BG?
Hold up. Only Aizawa and Crust dying. How did the only two?
that's bullshit. Wait, you talking about just here, right? And in this, where they're at in the chapter? I can see that.
Mike could die because it's like Aizawa couldn't save two friends. That would be crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I'm counting on Mike dying here. I think Mike hasn't been built up a lot, so it'd be kind of good. Like he's like a cheaper throwaway, but we're sacrificing him for Aizawa's character.
Somebody, I hopped on Twitter and somebody literally tweeted 24 seconds ago. Shigaraki isn't killing Aizawa. If he kills anyone, it'll be President Mike protecting Aizawa from Shigaraki and his assault. Heard it here first. Remember that. Like right as y'all was saying that, and they just tweeted it.
What's crazy?
They're gonna be hurt.
I think that
He actually got y'all beat though, because he tweeted it before y'all said it.
Multiple people could have the same opinion and not ever converse.
Yeah, but it's one opinion nobody have but you. I'm sorry, they just keep coming to me like. It just,
bro, because when I'm right, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, like because Mike is introduced as a gag character, but at the same time, if you look back to the USJ attack, for example, you can see like a super serious look on his face. Like when he sees how injured Aizawa is, he is not happy.
Well, also, you know what? Who's going to be the narrator then?
I mean,
a narrator. What are you talking about?
No, because like in the anime and when it happened in anime, I just started using the narrator as Aizawa. Anytime like the narrator happens to come in the story, I've always just used it as Aizawa. And if he dies, I don't know who's going to narrate.
Deku was the narrator, nigga. What are you talking about?
No.
Sometimes it's Spinner.
Yeah, can y'all hear me now?
Hey, there we go. We can hear you.
When they explain quirks and stuff like that, I've always just assumed it was a President Mike.
Why?
I mean, technically, President Mike is the narrator for that, but that's more like a fourth wall thing than a.
I know, but I'm just saying if he dies, like, he'll be crazy.
But if he dies, the world gonna be different. So, like, when the setting that he does that in is a different setting, it would be a different.
Well, yeah. The one thing Mike really does is he's like the quirk explainer.
He's gonna narrate from the grave.
Here's the thing: we'll know how it goes depending on how My Villain Academia goes. Because if some of the villains win, then everything's now a meta ability anyway. So it'd be meta ability. So if they have a different narrator during My Villain Academia, that's like meta liberation, like meta ability.
Well, the narrator for that would be Spinner, wouldn't it?
That would be dope. That would be dope.
In theory.
Entire My Villain.
Wait, so does President Mike narrate the quirk if he's not around?
No, that's not even the thing. The thing is, him narrating the quirks is only an anime thing anyway.
Yeah,
they don't ever actually.
it's just for fun. It's just a for fun thing.
It's just a for fun thing, but I'm just saying, like I don't know if I'm the only one that does it, but now I picture his voice once.
I've never once pictured him to explaining the story. I've only shown him as the quirks, never the story.
Yeah, that's just so that it's not boring to read or listen to. You know, because you got President Mike with his I'm here, that kind of voice. So
yeah, I actually don't want President Mike to die. Now that I think about it, I like his character too much.
Nah, that nigga could die.
The only reason I want President Mike to live is because he's my baby sister's favorite teacher.
Oh,
he got it done now.
But otherwise, fuck that nigga.
Hey, man, what you got against Mike?
Read Destro narrating the meta abilities.
Oh, that would be dope too.
Ooh,
it'd be funny if it was Curious.
I have to hear how his voice sounds like first.
Because she's the reporter or whatever, so she'd be like, this meta liberation ability is this.
I was a little mad they killed Curious off like that. I thought she would stick around a little longer.
Yo, Destin was. I remember the discussion we had after that. He was so hurt. He was like, "I'm not gonna do this to Curious." Like,
Best was watching Roger's base react to it and him being like, "Ooh, new best girl," and then immediately dies, and she was so upset.
I was conflicted. I was happy Toga got a W. I was like, damn, why did she have to kill Curious? Because remember, I was arguing that for like a whole week. I was like, Curious not dead, bro. I was like, she's not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, look at the panel. It was like, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
You're right.
Glad Twice is dead. Glad that's basically confirmed.
Besides, like maybe Chainsaw Man, in recent memory, my hero has had the most deaths out of any shonen.
I don't know if that's true.
He really had a lot of deaths.
Jump? I'd say so in Jump. Yeah, I think he probably right there outside of Yaiba. Outside of Yaiba, which kills everybody.
Yaiba deaths don't count.
Yeah, well, Yaiba's in his final arc, so they're gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, just like where the story is, I think my hero is killing more people.
That Yaiba chapter was ass today too.
Oh yeah, it was.
I didn't even read it.
Didn't he go back to using his tentacle powers, which everyone was mocking it for?
I mean,
I actually heard they're about to turn him back into human.
Yes, it's looking mad.
Bro, this nigga literally emitted a power ball from his mouth. I was like, what the fuck is this?
No, do you know why it's trash? What's so trash about it? Because if he gets turned back into human, that means that all those injuries and shit that he had are all erased. And he's gonna be perfectly fine on.
Yeah, that's how they had to do it. To get him back in his arm and shit. You knew that was coming. I mean, but it was ass anyway. Might as well finish ass all the way.
No. People were like thinking, oh man, they can save it with this. I was like, maybe if they don't turn it back into human, that'd be fine. I'd be good with that. But now, bruh, come on now.
Well, what was funny is I remember somebody wrote a thing that was like, the thing about this is that we just have to accept this loss. And it's like, it's so sad and lamentable. And then it was like, yeah, but like, no, not really. Like, not at all. It's gonna turn out fine. It was turning out fine before they even injected with the poison.
We got 3 more anecdotes. Like, bitch, how did you?
Is it me or they're kind of like fucking over Shinobu's character, making him just more a plot device?
You talking about Kano?
No, Shinobu. She's more like
Shinobu is feeling
like
less of a character now. Like,
but she died, right? Talking about the one that died?
Yeah. Since she's died, they've had her be like, oh yeah, by the way, this poison can do this too. No, it could also do this and 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 this.
Yeah, they did that
for like her and Tamayo.
Yeah, that's what I said. They did that for her and the other character. Like, bro, why the fuck they keep pulling out these different concoctions every?
Because like my issue with that is that one, it doesn't even make sense that all the Demon Slayers didn't have some kind of poison in their sheaths at all times. Like, why would? Two, like, if you can make a poison like that, why didn't you have like poison in every Hashira's blade? Like, it's the final mission. Everybody should have had a poison weapon.
They better not kill my girl though. She's the only reason I picked back up Demon Slayer. Kano.
Oh shit! I mean,
she cold blooded. I like her.
She's cool, but it ain't looking too good for her.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If they kill her, I'm like, bro, I only picked up this manga picked it back up because of her to see how her story ends.
TPN, I thought Phil was dead, and now I'm disappointed.
TPN is ass now. It's so sad. That shit was like had amazing start, and now it's just ass.
Bro, I told you, Dustin. I was calling it, man.
Nigga, you were just hating.
Undead Unluck though.
I was hating, but I'm right. Okay.
You just hating. Haters be right sometimes. They still hating.
I wasn't hating. I just saw where it was going. I was like,
Nah, you just hating.
man.
You was mad because everybody's calling their first arc classic. You ain't like that.
I said the first arc is a classic, and nothing else besides that is like even close to that. And I think the only other arc that's even good really is Goldie Pond, which is I give it 8.5.
The arcs before Goldie Pond were good too.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
They had a lot of imagery and stuff in it.
Now, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think that the best way to continue to Promise Neverland was to keep Gracefield going on for a super long time, and then like.
But that got redundant after a while, though. That's what I was scared of too.
You can introduce a lot of things, and then like when they get escape in the series right there, like who knows what's out there, or some bullshit. But that would have been a lot better than what we got now.
To me, it didn't fall. It didn't start falling off till after Goldie Bond. That's when it started falling off.
How did y'all feel about the Black Clover chapter this week?
That was ass too.
Okay.
Wait, I didn't even read it. Shit, let me actually go read that.
But Undead Unluck, how y'all reading that?
Yeah, but it was kind of.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I like the story, but the past couple chapters are kind of confusing to me a little bit.
The story is the thing that I'm kind of the least interested in, but I think that the characters have a lot of charisma that I'm waiting to fully get invested in. But for now, it's been fun week to week.
It's the combat system, the negator, the whole thing is fascinating. So
that stuff's very cool.
To Dustin, really quick, so it's official at Gravity Boys. It's the longest ongoing new shonen. So suck that.
Nigga, this shit still ass.
It's greatness, nigga.
Look, one day I'll eventually kind of give it a chance.
Yo, today, look, hold up. Just read the first chapter. Today, you're in quarantine. You're not really doing nothing.
I'm not quarantined. I'm an essential worker. My ass out here still making money.
I'm an essential worker too at home.
Oh, that's cool.
just give it one chance, man. Just the first chapter. You don't like it?
Don't read that shit, bro. He trying to trap you. Trying to say that you say you gave it a chance at one point. Don't read that shit ever.
It's the mate, bro. Hold on. Everybody that
the only reason that shit is popular is because Japan like that pervert weird shit.
It's not a pervert. But anyways,
it is.
Everyone that gave it a chance liked it. Wave liked it too, but he was like, "It's just not my cup of tea to continue reading that because But I was like, "Cool." He liked the first 5 chapters.
You see, racist. That's why I say racist is the biggest capper.
What? How am I capping? That's what
Wave
said.
I was there when Wave told you that chapter 4 was ass.
No, he said it was weird. He said it was weird.
Oh my god! All right.
It's the difference between ass and weird.
Okay, I can't wait till we go talk to Wade next time, and then we'll see what he says.
Yo, everybody in the stream, give A Gravity Boys a chance. It's amazing.
Don't hope that shit get canceled soon.
It's not. It's doing really well in popularity and like sales.
Because of pervert shit.
Cool, man.
And yeah, Chainsaw Man was confusing this week.
Oh, Mori King? Y'all read that?
I ain't read that shit yet.
That shit is ass. I'm gonna keep reading it though because is unique. Like the plot is so ass, and I'm like, how is this gonna be a series? It's like I think the whole plot is supposed to be just like one summer. So I'm like, how is it gonna be a series? So I'm gonna keep reading it. But
I mean, most of MHA has taken the place in 1 year. So
no, but I mean to like literally do it into a summer is like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
But I could have read that wrong, so I'm not sure. That's why I'm gonna keep reading it. But it's not. I think I'm gonna drop it like after 3 or 4 chapters because that shit is ass.
Man. Gonna give it 50 chapters. Don't need to waste my time on a wannabe act series. God damn.
Chainsaw Man is so unpredictable. It's like great. I literally can't tell you what's going on or what's about to happen.
It's so mad, bro.
That shit is so great. Last couple chapters have been crazy.
And Mashal's been fun each week.
No, I dropped Master chapter 6. That shit is ass.
What's been good?
Mashal. It is fun. I dropped Mitama like 17 chapters ago. I don't know how that shit's still going.
You dropped what?
Mitama Security.
Oh, I never even read it. It looked ass from the cover.
I figured it was gonna be cheeks, but I still tried.
Mission Yellow's Power Family. I like that. That's my shit.
Like, I think I just don't like Japanese comedy for the most part. Because like almost anytime I read a series that's like built around that, it's like whatever. Like One Piece is actually my like least favorite of the big three, and it's the one that's the most focused around comedy.
Mm-hmm. But I agree with you, but Gintama is an exception because that's just literally funny.
Dog, I tried to watch Gintama and I couldn't.
That should be cracking me up.
Like, I was not able to get interested at all. And the thing is, I've seen like fights, and I'm like, man, like I've seen some of the images of this, and it looks raw, but
they don't fights all the time. Like, it's only when they get to the serious parts.
Yeah, like people are like this comedy arcs, and I'm like, I don't trust this to be entertaining enough for me personally in the comedy arcs.
No, it's good though. The only reason I dropped it because it's just so much that it was hard for me to just keep going. But I didn't drop it because it was bad. I just dropped it because it was like so many episodes. This quarantine going long enough, I might find my way back to it.
Oh shit! I just remember this LCS match is being played.
Need to watch Gunbuster.
You said the last time we were streaming.
Yeah, because it's playoffs. I got matches to watch.
Y'all slept on Zipman. Zipman was ass. I dropped that shit before it got canceled.
No, what? Not feeling the current arc for MHA. Mid-Tama. Okay.
Why are you here?
What do you dislike about the arc?
Nothing. He just talking shit.
Oh no, I'm dead ass about to end the stream so I can go watch these games. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm trying to figure out what happens in playoffs.
Okay. Yo, well, get in VC. We'll watch it together, bro. We'll talk about it because I haven't talked to anybody about League in a minute.
Oh yeah, you do watch.
Yeah.
All right.
I used to watch it heavily too. I just kind of got out of it.
Well, thanks for having me as usual. It was fun.
Oh yeah, no. Like,
I was a bit more trolly. I was a bit more trolly this week, so sorry about that.
No, it's fine. Anybody got anything y'all need to push, promote real quick? Flo, you got anything coming on the channel? BG?
Flo, anything on the channel?
I don't know.
I mean, I plan on making the channel, but after all this craziness settles.
This is the best time.
I've got a area video coming out, so if you liked my overhaul video, I've got an area analysis video.
I've read the script for it. It's going to be great. Make sure you actually watch it.
Thank you. I think I'll go out and say I think my overhaul video is the definitive overhaul video analyzing his character on YouTube, period. So if you want to catch me on that, if that's true, go watch it and give me views.
Talk about vigilantes.
I need to catch up on vigilantes.
You do.
I don't know why I keep, because like I was gonna catch up, but then I just stopped.
I have a bad tendency of whenever a chapter will come out, like when My Hero, I did this for both My Hero and Vigilantes, but like when it first came out, it was like only 3 chapters, and I read them, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna let it build up, and then I just never like came back to it. But My Hero, I eventually came back to it, but Vigilantes, I was just like, I'll get to it another time.
I'm probably for the read because I heard Doro is a completed series. I'm probably for the binge that whole shit today.
I'm probably gonna watch the first 2 episodes of Tower of God today, Adi.
You haven't started?
I haven't.
Do you read a webcomic?
You might well wait till next Wednesday so you can have 3 episodes to straight binge.
I'm off Wednesday and I'm gonna spend my time, so I guess. But like, I don't know. I gotta find something to do.
Yeah, we got Gravity.
You should have got Final Fantasy.
You need to watch Gunbuster.
Oh, you're talking about the game?
Yeah, the game. You should have got Final Fantasy.
I still gotta play Final Fantasy 15. I still gotta download the Kingdom. I still gotta get Kingdom Hearts Remind DLC.
No,
and I need to get the Monster Hunter Iceborne DLC still.
Just replay Kingdom Hearts 2.
Do you have it?
Kingdom Hearts 2 made the game good.
Remember, them stimulus checks come this week, so when you get yours, don't say nothing about it.
Nah, I don't want to get my check first, and here's why. Because they're going by the brokest niggas first. So I want to be able to roast anybody who gets their check in the first wave by telling them they can't ever call nobody on Twitter broke ever again.
Nah, they going by direct deposit first, nigga.
It's like direct deposit plus like how much you make, I think.
Wait, am I getting money?
If you file,
did you file taxes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting money. You should get $1,200.
Oh, sweet.
But if
I found out that I'm not getting.
I already did my taxes, so.
Did you get direct deposit though? Like, did they come to your?
Yeah, it's direct.
Oh, okay, yeah, you good. Should get it this weekend. Would you say, Flo?
I'm not going to be getting anything.
Yeah, because he makes 6 figures.
No, he don't.
No, my parents do, and I'm technically still under.
They claim you as a dependent.
Yeah.
And you go to school.
Yeah.
And you ain't getting shit.
Yeah. What's your? No, I'm kidding.
And it's not like I'm broke, but just like my parents, and I think my parents make too much money to get anything too. So my sister will be getting something because even though she's living with them, but she's still independent and files taxes. So
you should tell them to send you $1,200.
No, they're not getting anything either.
Oh yeah, because
I'm saying just send you $1,200. I'm not saying they get anything since they got 6 figures. It makes you
no, they'll never do something like that. No, definitely with that much money. Just like, hey, like they kind of they kind of like spoon feed me little crumbs that I have to survive off of because
Are you the black sheep of the family?
No.
But
it's just like they know. They set me up so I can survive without all the money because they'll send me food, like they'll put gas in my car every time I'm down there and stuff, and then they'll just send me money for like leisure time, but it's never enough. But I make it enough.
Like Friday.
You know that Friday.
BG, you got anything you want to wrap up with? I know you came in later.
No, not really. Actually, I do have a question.
What's up?
What are you gonna do next week? Are you just gonna chill next week?
Next week we can do a stream.
What type of stream?
Fuck.
Top 10 waifus.
Yeah, this is basically what Flo said.
Mario #1. Okay.
Shit.
I thought he said Mario.
We'll see y'all niggas in 2 weeks.
This mess. Nah, we're gonna have a power scaling stream next week, Dustin.
I'm definitely gonna see y'all in 2 weeks. I'm not telling you. I hate y'all.
Let's do the top 10 waifus. It'll be a funny ass stream.
Mm-hmm.
We can just roast each other on our taste.
Yeah, exactly.
We could see.
And then Anna can get OBS working because this is the last time we got to use StreamYard, bro. Like this should be everybody can't hear each other.
Who?
My mic wasn't registering at first.
Was the chapter average for you, BG? You even say?
Yeah, no, it was pretty average. Nothing really happened this week.
Thank you. That's why I fuck with you, nigga.
Who else reads Jujutsu Kaisen, by the way?
Me. Jujutsu Kaisen is the best chapter this week.
But I did.
I'm like 3 chapters behind. I use the break weeks to catch up on that shit. I'm behind on.
All right, so catch up on that shit, and we're doing Jujutsu Kaisen stream next week.
Sounds good.
I'll catch up on it. Just call it mid. I'll be there.
Yeah. Okay, I need you. I definitely need you there. Then keep that energy.
The last few chapters before this one were kind of like whatever, but this chapter was raw. Whenever they do a fight chapter, Jujutsu Kaisen, that shit is hard.
This chapter right here, nigga.
No, chapter 100 was heat.
Now I said the past few because it's like, or the past couple. I don't remember because like it was just I don't know. But
chapter 100 was when Nanami pulled up.
Like when my homegirl got wrecked, I ain't like that. When she got wrecked, I was like, damn, she got wrecked. Nabara,
Nobara. Chapter 100 was when Nanami didn't explain his ability, but we still got to see it in action. Because that was when he pulled up and was like, "So you killed the dudes, right? All right, bet."
I keep forgetting what was the name of that assassin dude in the backstory. What was his name?
Toji.
Yeah, Toji. Yeah.
That nigga fucked up Gojo.
That nigga being back.
Yeah, no, I like that. I love that nigga.
Shit, we finna get Fushiguro versus Toji.
That's gonna be fucking amazing.
I don't even know where this arc is headed now.
Yeah, it seemed like it was structured. It felt like the arc was gonna be all right. Do we or don't we get Gojo sealed?
But then he got killed, and I was still like,
it's like no. We still got a lot of shit to handle now. Who we killing? Who we not killing? Where we going from here?
Yeah, I'm like, where's this arc going? But this chapter was fire though. It's the best chapter of the week for me.
One of my favorite things about Jujutsu Kaisen is that Yuji threw a car at somebody, which was blatant power scaling and progression, and the fandom didn't even bother with like bringing it up. Like we saw him throw a shot put or whatever, but we had never seen him throw a fucking car at somebody, and like we just accepted it.
Oh yeah, but he got like that shit he got with his fist and his cursed energy. Like it made sense. But Yeah, I don't know. Like, I like Jujutsu Kaisen, but I don't really care about none of the characters. That's weird. Like, I don't really care, except for old girl.
Okay,
You didn't like Maki?
I like Maki too.
As I was reading it, I could not grow attached to any characters, and I was like, I can't continue this because I'm not attached to any.
But I really like the plot in the world, though. That's why I like Jujutsu Kaisen. And I ain't gonna lie, they do got a lot of badass female characters. That's nothing. They do got like a lot of badass female characters.
Yeah, but you know, every time we talk, I always say I prefer characters over plot, and
you trash. It's plot over everything, nigga.
Lame.
How about a balance? That's what I like.
Yeah, that's what
no. I love a balance, but I'm saying if the characters are so lacking that I don't remember any of the names, I'm not attached to any of them. The only character I know is what's his name, Suzuna or whatever, the demon, the little demon inside of the.
Sukuna.
That's the only like.
The name of Jujutsu Kaisens are hard to remember because they're hard to like pronounce.
You don't like Gojo, Rex?
Oh yeah, Gojo the GOAT. You cannot like him.
How do you not fuck with Fushiguro? How many niggas fight with gang signs?
What's the dude who became like Yuji's friend?
Okay, so I haven't got it super far, so yeah, maybe name it.
I actually like him, but they killed that nigga off.
Well, okay, well, spoilers.
What are you talking about?
Like,
Rex, just get caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen, all right? And then we're gonna do a discussion next week.
Rex is not going to catch up with Jujutsu Kaisen again.
I caught up with Chainsaw Man and trashed it, didn't I?
No, you didn't. I remember some of you supposed to catch up on. You told me, it's Act Age, and you're like, I'm gonna catch up for the stream, bro. It was a whole week, and you didn't catch up.
Y'all never had a stream.
We did have a stream. Me and Sasuke. What are you talking about? Me, Sasuke, and Townsy. You see, Rex is the biggest capper I've ever met.
See? All right. So look, Rex, just like you need to change your crackhead ways, this is your opportunity to atone. Read Jujutsu Kaisen and get caught up.
I read it.
We'll have a discussion next Sunday.
And then watch Gunbuster.
Yeah, I'm watching baby stuff right now, so I'll catch up.
I can't believe they try to say we didn't have a show.
I can't
all right, guys.
Peace out.
Watch it until I beat this game.
All right.
Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it on the Switch? No, it's not on the Switch.
Oh no.